A pink-haired woman seeks new rays of hope against monsters. She passionately declares it's time to become a hero. Your story, she announces with a wink, starts now. Her face adorns a massive Hero Association billboard in the city. As men admire the hero known as Cure, a disguised woman with pink hair wonders why an A- rank healer only does model work. Years ago, the world was plunged into chaos by a monster invasion. In response, humanity awakened to new superpowers. These chosen few manifested a power known as aura. The color of their aura became the standard for ranking their power level. They were called heroes, the world's only hope, until a director yells, "Cut!" On set, the director criticizes Cure for looking too serious, reminding her that her role is to smile like a mascot. He patronizingly tells Cure she's much prettier when she smiles. As cameras flash, he demands she smile wider for the shoot. Cure forces a smile, thinking this isn't the hero life she wanted. She recalls her childhood, dreaming of becoming a hero just like the one she watched on TV. She remembers the shock of her powers first awakening. After manifesting healing abilities in middle school, she was overjoyed to be registered as an A- rank hero. But a bloody battle flashback shows her desperately trying to heal a grievously wounded comrade. She remembers how her healing failed as her allies fell around her. As a red-haired man begged her to hurry, a monster's claws tore into her arm. She was paralyzed with fear, completely unable to act. She became known as a hero who couldn't even use her skills. Back in the present, she hides in fear of being seen as powerless, then bumps into someone with an ow. Ha, even a sign on a telephone pole seems to call her an idiot. A sudden sound makes her look up in surprise. She finds a strange cat-like creature coughing inside a cardboard box. Worried, she notes it doesn't look like a normal street cat and asks if it's hurt. The creature looks up with tear-filled eyes, revealing a large golden bell on its collar that reads "Stronger." Its collar bell simply says "Stronger." She looks up and connects the bell to a sign for a gym named Fitness Stronger. Peeking inside, she's shocked to see a muscular man in a tiger shirt aggressively training a screaming client. The struggling, red-haired man spots her and tells his trainer Ma Wang that someone is there. Ma Wang turns, causing her to flinch away from the doorway. Flustered, she stammers an apology and tries to make a quick exit. Whap! A powerful hand suddenly grabs her, stopping her from leaving. Ma Wang grins warmly, welcoming the new gym baby and telling her not to be scared. Terrified by his tiger print outfit, she trembles and tries to explain she's only there because of the cat. He looks confused, asks about a cat, and then deadpans. MEOW. Inside, the cat is perfectly fine, wearing sunglasses and casually sipping from a mug. The gym staff immediately swarm her, dramatically fussing over her noodle-like muscles and declaring she's lucky to have arrived when she did. He leans in, promising an easy-peasy workout, which only makes her more nervous. A terrifyingly wide grin spreads across his face as he contemplates her personal training session. He immediately starts her on squats, shouting instructions and ignoring her protests. He relentlessly corrects her deadlift form, yelling at her to straighten her back. As she struggles with the bench press, he screams about her form before abruptly announcing a 1-minute break. Panting, she realizes he won't listen. But before 10 seconds pass, he orders 2 more sets. Beep, beep, beep! A sudden alarm interrupts the intense workout, catching them both by surprise. Her eyes widen in shock as a glowing orange alert reflects in her glasses. An emergency notification warns of a B-rank monster nearby, with only one available hero in range. Her phone buzzes as she panics, realizing she's the only hero available to respond. Paralyzed by fear, she tells herself she can't go. Mo Wang misreads her panic, asking if she needs the bathroom, which she frantically denies.
He turns and squats, making her wonder what he's doing.
He tells her to stop holding back and just do what she wants to do. His words, "Don't regret it later," strike her like lightning, leaving her wide-eyed. He cheerfully finds a roll of toilet paper, completely misunderstanding the situation. The gym door chimes as she leaves, making him think she was in a huge hurry. The red-haired man deadpans that the bathroom is out of toilet paper anyway. Her mind made up, she sprints through the city streets toward the danger. As she runs, panicked screams for help echo from the monster's location ahead. Arriving at the chaotic scene, she realizes she's the only hero there to face the B-rank monster, Nanmon. She resolves to do what she can as a man directs panicking civilians away from the destruction. She watches in horror as the monster looms over a terrified woman trapped in the rubble. The woman screams as the monster's giant foot descends to crush her. Frozen with fear, her own inner voice screams at her to move and be the hero she's supposed to be. A desperate internal plea begs her to stop posing and actually do something. In a flash, she tackles the woman to safety, just as a powerful kick sends the monster reeling. In disbelief, she looks back, shocked that she actually managed to move. She slides across the pavement, shielding the civilian she just saved. KRRR, the monster growls, its glowing yellow eyes now fixed on her. As the rescued girl recognizes her as Cure Girl, a blue flash of energy slams into the monster, and Cure spins around in surprise. A powerful fist clenches and then smashes into the monster's side. A mysterious figure leaps high into the air, easily dodging the massive beast. The figure lands with a ground-shattering impact. Relieved that another hero has appeared, Cure's expression quickly turns to confusion. A muscular leg steps forward as a voice says, "Goodness." The person flexes, admiring their own bicep and adding, "Look at this, it's Ma Wang." Striking a pose as Cure and the civilian stare in utter disbelief. He turns with a cheeky grin, casually reminding her where the bathroom is. As the monster attacks from behind, he calmly points it out, telling her to look while she looks on in horror. Kia. The monster's fist connects with Ma Huang's face in a brutal impact, sending him flying. He quickly recovers from the blow and charges right back at the beast. He lands a staggering punch right on the monster's jaw. Grabbing a sharp rock, he skillfully dodges and slashes the monster's arm. The monster lets out a furious roar. A powerful backhand from the beast sends Ma Wang crashing into the debris. Cure watches in shock, realizing she can't see any aura on him and wondering if he's just a normal person. She questions his recklessness as the monster stomps him into the ground. Clenching her fist, she yells at him to get away before he gets himself killed. As the monster's claw swings down, a voice asks, "Aren't you scared?" With a bloody grin, Ma Wang effortlessly catches the monster's massive fist. He laughs maniacally, taunting the creature and asking if that's all it's got before calling it a lard ass. Holding the girl, Cure wonders if he has some kind of secret weapon. The monster snarls, declaring that he will never win. Cure looks on intently, waiting to hear the monster's reason. "Because," a voice declares, "the A-rank hero Cure Girl is here." Cure and the girl she's protecting look on, stunned by the announcement. Her mind blanks as she can only mutter, "What?" Ma Huang stands bloody but triumphant, gesturing towards her with a confident smile. The shocking realization hits her like a bolt of lightning. His secret weapon is her. Shaking her head, Cure trembles in confused denial. Whoosh! The monster hurls Ma Wang through the air with terrifying force. In a state of shock, Cure can only ask, "What?" As the monster's fist rushes toward her, she can only think to apologize. Yaosh Ma Wang cries out as the monster slams him into the ground. Realizing he's dying because of her, Cure desperately tries to activate her power, screaming, "Heal, please." She reaches out, frantically shouting for her healing powers to work. The monster lets out a victorious, earth-shaking roar. "Please, just this once," she begs, as the monster unleashes a devastating energy blast. A massive slash of blue energy carves through the battlefield. A pained "Ah" escapes her lips as she watches, utterly helpless. The monster's glowing yellow eyes fixate on its next target. Lying broken in the rubble, a bloody Ma Wang appears defeated. The massive, red-crested monster towers over Cure and the girl she's protecting. As tears stream down her face, she begins to accept her failure, until a voice from off-screen shouts, "Hey, you lizard." Ma Wang struggles to his feet, bloody but defiant, boasting that his steel-forged body, honed as the owner of Fitness Stronger, can take the hit. New the monster roars, smashing its fist down on Ma Wang mid-speech. The beast stands triumphant over Ma Wang's crumpled body. With a bloody, determined grin, Ma Wang reassures her that it's not her fault. He tells her to stop crying, leaving Curie stunned that a civilian is comforting her, the hero. The monster raises its powerful arm for a final, crushing blow. As the fist descends, Ma Wang braces for the impact, wishing for just one chance. Cure screams, unleashing an incredible burst of pink healing energy. A brilliant flash of pink light signals a turning point. The healing energy explodes outward, engulfing the city block in its power. Now glowing with pink energy, Ma Wang effortlessly stops the monster's fist, grinning as he acknowledges the power of her heal. A status window reveals her true identity: Class A hero, Cure Girl, Lee Ji-hyun with the power to heal. Ma Wong flashes a predatory grin, thrilled by the idea of fighting alongside a newly awakened hero. Grrr, the monster growls, baffled by its opponent's sudden recovery. This is the best, Ma Wong roars, launching a supercharged kick at the monster. The monster is sent flying backward from the sheer force of the blow. It crashes violently into a concrete pillar, shattering the structure. Ma Wong easily lifts the massive pillar, announcing, "Now, here comes a big one." The monster screams in terror as Ma Wong prepares to swing. He winds up using the concrete pillar like a colossal baseball bat. With a mighty swing, he smashes the pillar straight into the monster. The pillar shatters on impact, and Ma Wong expresses his disappointment in its weakness. Suddenly, the red-haired man from the gym appears, shouting, "Nuclear weapon delivery!" as he hurls a giant roasted pig leg. Ma Wong catches the leg, takes a deep sniff, and identifies the scent of a 40-year-old Jangchungdong tradition. He takes a massive bite out of the roasted leg. He ecstatically declares it's the ultimate protein boost, flexing as he savors the jumbo pig trotters. The monster can only growl in utter confusion at the bizarre mid-fight snack. With a burst of speed, the monster charges forward. Ma Wong simply grins as the beast closes in for an attack. He effortlessly blocks the monster's arm with the pig leg, asking if it wants a taste. Shouting, "Raise protein!" He smashes the meat into the monster's face with a protein dumbbell hammer. He unleashes a relentless, gym-themed combo using the pig leg, including a leg press kick and a protein dumbbell strike. He finishes the sequence with a mouth-lat pull-down, shoving the leg deep into the monster's maw. A powerful cross punch sends blood flying from the monster's head. Ma Wong continues his bizarre assault with an alternate protein rush, a pig leg curl, and a casein compound set, biting down on the monster's neck. He lands another devastating blow with the pig leg, sending blood flying. With fierce determination, Cure unleashes a powerful burst of pink energy, screaming, "Heal!" The healing energy surges into Ma Wong's arm, making it swell with newfound power. Fully restored and glowing, Ma Wong leaps into the air as the monster below him roars in agony. The monster lets out a furious, sharp-toothed roar of defiance. A powerful, destructive slash of red energy cuts across the battlefield. Amidst the settling dust and debris, Cure looks up in stunned silence. The monster's massive form stands tall against the setting sun in the ruined city. A hand reaches out toward her through the smoky haze. Bloody but grinning, Ma Wong extends his hand, cheekily asking if that's how it's done. Blushing, she smiles with relief, chiding him for his timing. A bloody hand presents a new member contract for the Easy Fun Gym, signed by Cure Girl and promising to exercise forever. Her eyes widen in panicked confusion, wondering what she's just gotten herself into. Ma Wong and the red-haired man dance in celebration, shouting that a new member has joined. With a horrified expression, she realizes her ominous prediction has come true as the gym bros celebrate over the defeated monster's corpse. In a bizarre ad, Ma Wong, introduced as Horse King, shows off his indestructible tiger panties, now available for a special price. Back in the gym, Ma Wong screams at her to stop whining and get up as she struggles with a barbell. Trembling with exhaustion, she wonders why on earth she's putting herself through this. He cheerfully congratulates Ji-hyun on becoming a personal training member of the gym. In a flashback, Ma Wong offers her a jackpot deal for unlimited PT sessions, which she apparently accepted. With a terrifying grin, he declares his intention to forge her into the healthiest life form on the planet. She collapses to the floor, utterly spent, as he yells at her to grab the barbell and keep moving. Crying and covered in bandages, she sobs that she wants to go home, reminding him he said it would be easy. She stares at her trembling hands, unable to feel any strength in them. She recalls the incredible surge of power from the monster fight, realizing it hasn't returned since but hoping she can regain it. Pondering that being around Ma Wong could be the key to her strength, her thoughts are cut short as he yells that rest time is over. She pets a small, cute, tiger-striped creature, which Ma Wong misinterprets as her comforting him with a whip and carrot tactic. Tap. She yelps in surprise as a cold water bottle touches her neck. The red-haired man, Ki Wong, kindly offers her the water, telling her to hydrate. As Ki Wong packs his bag, he offers some philosophical advice about sweat turning into muscle. She notices a book fell from his bag, and he panics, calling it a secret he doesn't want anyone to see. He explains it's a movie script for his acting job, hesitantly allowing her to take a look. Reading the script, She notes that he's playing a supporting villain role and asks if he's disappointed, but he denies it. He explains that while the role is often criticized, it serves an important purpose. A villain, he says, is essential for the hero to shine, and he's proud to play his part. He smiles genuinely, admitting that he really enjoys playing villains. His words leave her looking at him with newfound admiration. Deeply impressed, she thinks about his strong conviction as he considers increasing his workout weight. Resolving to get his autograph later, she suddenly screams as she sees him start his lift. The barbell crashes down, trapping Ki-wong as she cries out in horror. She screams for Ma-wong's help, shouting that Ki-wong has been crushed by the weights. "You idiot. What the hell are you doing?" Ma-wong berates Ki-wong, calling him a filthy bastard, as Ji-hyun looks on in confusion. Pinned under the weight, Ki-wong grimaces, realizing he's been crushed. Ma-wong continues his verbal tirade, mocking Ki-wong's strength and eating habits. Ki-wong strains, trying to push through the pain as Ma-wong yells at him about his bad form. While Ma-wong orders him to get out, Ki-wong grits his teeth, determined to push just a bit more. With a tremendous roar, Ki-wong successfully lifts the massive weight, stunning everyone. He intensely screams for more humiliation, demanding to be pushed even harder. Jae-hyun is speechless as Ma-wong offers to train him until his red hair turns blue, an offer Ki-wong eagerly accepts. Ki-wong basks in a moment of proud, sweaty satisfaction. Ji-hyun instructs a man on his farm, calling him a pervert. A summons order appears, requesting heroes for civilian reconstruction efforts. Seeing the order, Ki-wong asks Ji-hyun if it's time to deploy. Ji-hyun protests that the mission is for heroes only, but Ma-wong dismisses her concerns about danger. Ma-wong reveals that Ki-wong is, in fact, a B-class hero. At the City Hall reconstruction site, heroes begin the cleanup. A white-haired hero uses her telekinetic powers to lift heavy rubble. Ki-wong effortlessly carries massive stones alongside other working heroes. Ma-wong points toward Ki-wong, telling Ji-hyun they should prepare to help. A blonde-haired fan excitedly recognizes Ji-hyun from a TikTok challenge on his phone. He gushes over her alluring social media persona in a frilly white dress. He remembers her making a cute heart gesture for her followers. The fan begs her to dance for his Instagram, but she politely declines, citing her mission. Ouch! He aggressively grabs her wrist, accusing her of lying about her duties. As the fan continues to harass her, Ma-wong sternly tells him to remove his hand. The fan looks up in shock, repeating the word malatang. He's suddenly hit with the bizarre vision of Ma-wong doing a seductive dance. The vision focuses on Ma-wong pointing toward his tiger-striped briefs. A simple diagram shows Ma-wong's imposing presence interrupting the fan's harassment. Ma-hang menacingly asks to be treated to dinner instead, suggesting pig's feet. Ji-hyun looks on, completely disgusted by the entire situation. Enraged, the fan grabs Ma-wong's shirt and calls him a little brat. A nervous Ma-wong timidly asks if the dinner offer has to be malatang. The fan's face contorts in rage as he realizes who Ma-wong is. A flashback shows the fan as a teen, annoyed by a no-smoking sign. His friends mock him for being coddled by his mother. He speaks condescendingly to someone approaching from off-screen. A shirtless Ma-wong confronts the teens, telling them to put out their cigarettes. The teens insult Ma-wong, calling him a pervert and telling him to leave them alone. The fan gives Ma-wong a sarcastic apology, pretending he didn't see the sign. Ma-wong bizarrely lectures him on how smoking affects fertility and demands their cigarettes. His expression becomes deadly serious as he stares the teen down. In defiance, the teen rips the no-smoking sticker off, declaring it a smoking area. A spark of fury flashes across Ma-wong's shadowed face. The teens relentlessly mock Ma-wong for crying, taunting him for being weak. The fan throws a punch, mocking Ma-wong's over-the-top concern. A disgusting puddle of urine with a cigarette butt appears on the pavement. The teens walk away, leaving a beaten Ma-wong lying on the ground.
The memory flashes to the teen crying out in absolute terror.
The source of his fear was Ma-wong's dark, menacing glare. Back in the present, Ma-wong grins, recognizing the fan and asking if he quit smoking. Grabbing his wrist, Ma-wong reveals that he's been looking for him for a long time. The fan, now glowing with a fiery aura, boasts that he's grown up. He unleashes a massive cigarettes. Fire! Explosion. Onlookers cry out in shock, identifying the attacker as Ma-wong, the awakened one. As Ma-wong rants about his past weakness, Ma-wong stands calmly within the flames, thanking him. With a single casual flick to the forehead, Ma Wang sends Ma Wang soaring into the sky. Thud, a devastating kick, leaves Ma Wang shattered and bloody on the ground. Ma Wang stands over him, lecturing that a trivial superpower is no match for years of muscle training. A pink-haired woman with a black cap arrives, identifying the noisy man as her gym's strong appa. Muscular, white-haired woman arrives dramatically, introduced as the A-class hero, Heart King. Ji-hyun asks Heart King to step aside, wondering how she and Mao Wang know each other.
Heart King sensually embraces the man, calling him baby and praising his thrilling physique.
Ji-hyun looks on, in shocked disbelief, thinking Mao Wang's name. The man grimaces with discomfort as purple energy crackles around him. She licks his chest, calling him delicious, as he lets out a terrified scream. He breaks free and flees, screaming for help, while Ji-hyun orders Heart King to stop right there. He continues to run, frantically shouting for her to get lost and leave him alone. With a sinister grin, Heart King promises to make him feel good, just like last time. Ji-hyun can only watch in horrified disbelief as the situation escalates. She rushes to the fallen Ma Wang's side, asking if he's okay and telling him not to move. He furiously slaps her hand away, screaming at her to get lost. Glaring with bloody hatred, he thinks to himself that he can't forgive this. Surrounded by a fiery aura, he screams that he's heard of the strong gym and is coming for them. As he vows to burn it all to ash, Ji-hyun's eyes widen in absolute terror. A voice interrupts him just as he's about to unleash his flames, telling him to wait. She stands defiantly before him, declaring that she won't let him do it and that he started this fight. With tears in her eyes, she calls him out for using underhanded tactics and asks if he feels no shame. As he screams insults at her, she furiously quotes superpower law, forbidding the use of abilities on civilians. She accuses him of using his ability on a civilian, calling it a clear case of attempted murder. With determined fury, she declares that if he causes any more trouble, she will stop him as a hero.
Mocking her, he throws a fiery punch that sends her crashing to the ground.
Lying on the pavement, her eyes are wide with dazed confusion. Suddenly, Mao Wang finds himself covered in a thick, golden, gooey substance. Ji-hyun looks on, crying out in shock and confusion at the bizarre turn of events. A large, golden slime creature materializes, asking who she is and mentioning a gulu. The gooey monster mutters that its hands are shaking and it feels dizzy. Its toothy maw opens wide as it roars, demanding that she give it the gulu. Malang's feet are shown trapped in the creature's sticky golden body. The creature is identified as an A- grade monster, sudden sugar burst, as it demands Tanghulu. Confused by the sudden appearance of a monster, Ji-hyun wonders what it means by Tanghulu. Ranting about feeling dizzy, the monster unleashes a massive blast of sugary energy toward Ji-hyun. The powerful golden beam engulfs the screen. The monster stares ahead, seemingly confused by the outcome of its own attack. To her shock, Ji-hyun finds herself unharmed inside a protective red energy bubble. Bang! A new gray-haired hero appears, telling Ji-hyun to move aside as she strikes the monster. The powerful impact sends the monster's golden goo splattering everywhere. The red energy continues to tear through the creature's form. Trapped inside a glowing red cage, the monster whimpers softly. Ji-hyun stares at her savior's back, demanding to know who she is. The S-grade hero, Yura, is introduced, looking down with an annoyed expression. Inside the cage, the two halves of the severed monster begin to stir. The severed pieces of the monster rapidly merge back into one. Ji-hyun's eyes fly open in sudden realization as she connects the dots. As the reformed monster asks if someone sweet is there, Ji-hyun screams that her ability isn't working. A voice calls the monster sticky and dirty as a bizarre red energy construct materializes. Proclaiming her absolute disgust, Yura unleashes her strange, ribbed energy weapon. The monster looks up in confusion, questioning, "Hulu?" The red construct smashes into the creature, causing it to explode in a shower of goo. Ugh, Ji-hyun grunts, hit by the sticky golden goo. In awe of the attack, Ji-hyun watches as Yura asks who she is, finding her familiar. Ji-hyun excitedly reintroduces herself as Hero Cure Girl, recalling they met at the agency. Dismissively, Yura remembers her, calling her that clown. Flustered, Ji-hyun asks what she means, as Yura looks for someone who has vanished before Ji-hyun screams, "Ooh-wah!" In a chaotic vision, Heart King embraces a man begging her to stop as a masked hero attacks. Bang! Ji-hyun screams in terror, recognizing Heart King's attack. Yura complains her brother is useless without her, as Ji-hyun comforts the fallen Ma-wang, telling him not to cry. Ji-hyun gently consoles a sobbing Ma-wang, telling him it's okay as he weeps her name. A terrifying vision of glowing eyes flashes as Ma-wang explains how scared he was, relieved they escaped. Ma-wang looks up to see Yura surrounded by pink energy. Recognizing her by name, Ma-wang cheerfully asks Yura why she's been absent from the gym, only to be met with a brutal kick. Bing! Looking down at Ma-wang's goo-covered body, Yura calls him dirty, while Ji-hyun asks if they know each other. The golden monster lunges from behind, causing Ji-hyun to scream in horror. Ma-wang grunts as he shields Ji-hyun from the monster's powerful blow. Safely in his arms, a stunned Ji-hyun looks up at Ma-wang. Ji-hyun checks if he's okay, but Ma-wang just laughs maniacally and says she's welcome. A menacing grin spreads across Yura's face as she calls them little brats. Yura brutally insults Ji-hyun, mocking her sleazy body and calling her a worn-out old hag. Ma-wang stares in shock as Yura dramatically pretends to fall over. The monster gives chase, screaming for Tung-hulu, while Ma-wang and Ji-hyun cry for Yura's help, who just clicks her tongue in annoyance. Ranting about a sugar overload, the monster suddenly explodes. A voice asks the sticky one if it can read the mood, leaving the monster confused. Yura grabs Ma-wang, telling him to sit tight and stay crumpled. She unleashes a massive beam of red energy, engulfing the monster. Wow! Ji-hyun marvels at the S-rank power as the beam initiates a quick cooling effect. The monster staggers back, caught in the freezing attack. It's frozen solid, its body cracking audibly. Ma-wang, now in football gear, thanks Yura, who asks if he plans on eating it raw as he powers up. Yura notices some of the monster is left, as her brother charges a massive energy attack. With a fierce grin, the armored man announces his attack is loaded. Bang! He launches a powerful red energy blast at the frozen creature. The beam of pure force streaks through the air. The blast cracks the monster's frozen shell as it screams a final hulu. Hiya! He follows up with a supercharged punch. His fist connects squarely with the monster's horrified face. His eyes burn with intensity from within his energy field. The impact shatters the air with raw power. Spiking, he yells, as the attack pierces and shatters the monster from within. The creature erupts in a massive, blinding explosion. A concentrated beam of red energy surges forward. He unleashes his ultimate attack, screaming, "Blood sugar." The devastating beam descends from the sky, tearing through the city. Ji-hyun stands alone amidst the destruction, staring in utter shock. Yura watches the aftermath with a confident smirk. A colossal red energy construct crashes into the ground before Ji-hyun. Very low blood sugar. Touchdown. The monster's remains dissolve into nothing. Ji-hyun looks on in utter confusion, questioning what she just saw. Surveying the ruins, she thinks to herself, "No way." Ji-hyun watches from afar, thinking Ma-wang is useless. Ma-wang cheerfully asks Ji-hyun to go get food. As Ma-wang proudly boasts, Ji-hyun scoffs at his arrogance. Ji-hyun looks down with a somber expression, thinking, as always. The group gathers together, peering down at something below. They find a large, glistening platter of pig's feet. At the table, Ma-wang furiously defends his choice of a protein-heavy meal. He kindly offers to pick out the lean meat for her. Though her face is stern, Yura is secretly thrilled by his caring gesture. When Ma-wang offers food to Ji-hyun, an enraged Yura glares at him. He notices Ji-hyun's intensely flustered and overheated reaction. The man asks why Ji-hyun is upset, as Yura growls with demonic fury. Ji-hyun claims she's on a diet, but Ma-wang furiously insists she eat for a healthy body. He aggressively shoves the food at her, screaming for her to eat it. Forced to eat, her eyes fly open in stunned surprise. The incredible flavor sends her into a dazzling vision of a passionate tango. With a blissful smile, Ji-hyun whispers that it's delicious. Ji-hyun's delight inspires Yura to join in a competitive eating frenzy. The scene shifts to the exterior of the gym building. Inside, Ji-hyun is focused on her workout, lifting a barbell. She stands, taking a moment to observe her own physique. Smiling, she reflects that eating well has lifted her depression. While crediting Ma-wang's workouts, she's suddenly grabbed from behind. A trembling person appears, sobbing and clutching a box of ramen. The stranger lets out a sudden scream, startling Ji-hyun off the bench. The blonde-haired person tearfully begs her to stop their brother. In a flashback, she recalls how her brother saved money for her education. She explains that since she returned, her brother has been acting strangely. She decided to disguise herself and secretly follow him. Back in the present, she pleads with Ji-hyun, insisting on what she saw. She remembers peeking through a frosted glass door, seeing a shadow inside. Her memory reveals a horrifying vision of Mal as a tiger print-clad cult leader. She accuses the cult leader of brainwashing her brother, confusing Ji-hyun. Ji-hyun tries to calmly explain that it's just a normal gym. Her explanation is cut short by a bizarre noise from a nearby room. Worried, she and the blonde girl peek through the door to investigate. They see only shadows, hearing intense grunts and cries of, "I'm dying!" A terrifying silhouette appears on the curtain as someone screams, "Go to hell." The curtain flies open to reveal costumed men, leaving Ji-hyun speechless. A masked, blonde-haired man clenches his fist, declaring, "The time has come." Kya! Ji-hyun screams as the demonic figures lunge toward her. She quickly grabs a barbell, preparing to defend herself. Ji-hyun and the girl stare in horror at something shocking off-screen. Their horrified gazes are fixed on a room splattered with blood. Ji-hyun screams in terror as the blonde girl's soul leaves her body. She watches in disbelief as the men carry away coffin-like weights. Determined to understand, she decides to follow them. Now in disguise, they trail the group, suspecting one is the girl's brother. Hiding, they suddenly spot something that makes them gasp in shock. They watch in horror as menacing hands close in on a person trapped in a sack. A monstrous, red-eyed creature looms over a small grandmother, demanding she hand something over. A pink-haired woman screams a warning to the man below, who is sweating in fear. In a bizarre procession, the costumed men cross the street, carrying the grandmother in coffin-like weights. A blonde-haired man asks who these people are, while the frightened grandmother questions what's happening. One of the masked men menacingly tells the grandmother to go to hell as Ji-hyun confirms her suspicions. A lone soccer ball rests among the green leaves of a tree. A young boy cries in terror as the red-eyed monster raises a massive hammer to crush him. In her disguise, Ji-hyun screams, "No!" trying to stop the impending attack. The costumed men suddenly intervene, heroically saving the boy and knocking the soccer ball loose. The spiky-haired man holds the ball, creepily telling the boy he's next after the soccer ball guillotine. Ji-hyun watches the strange scene unfold, wondering what on earth they're trying to do. Having followed the group, Ji-hyun and the blonde girl look down from a rooftop at a gathering led by a sinister figure. The women watch as a masked man in a suit pays a cloaked figure, noting it looks like a rally. With her face painted, the blonde girl rushes forward with cash, yelling for them to die. She's immediately body-slammed by security as she tries to enter the event. Touting her perfect plan, the blonde girl recovers as Ji-hyun urges her to follow their target inside. A cloaked figure performs a ritual, manipulating glowing red energy. From a crowd of robed figures, a terrifying face with a massive toothy grin emerges. A figure on a brightly lit stage announces that the gates of hell have opened. The blonde girl recognizes the voice as her brother's, leaving Ji-hyun stunned. On stage, Malwang rallies his brothers, standing over a mysterious, red-draped object. A blood-splattered Malwang dramatically removes a black bag from his head. His face contorted with rage, he screams, "Go to hell," as Ji-hyun recognizes him in shock. Malwang strikes a pose on the altar, surrounded by his adoring, cloaked followers. The crowd, filled with gym members, chants aggressively as Ji-hyun realizes they're all part of this. Horrified, she wonders if Malwang has truly become a cult leader. The blonde-haired man declares that the king of hell demands a sacrifice. He commands them to offer the sacrifice as a blood-stained cloth is pulled away. Ji-hyun stares in absolute terror at the mention of a sacrifice. As Malwang raises a huge cleaver, she frantically wonders what is happening. The cleaver comes crashing down, sending a spray of blood everywhere. Ji-hyun's eyes are wide with shock and horror at the violent scene. The blonde-haired man cheers maniacally, celebrating that this is what they always wanted. The bloody sacrifice is revealed to be a massive ketchup-drenched hamburger. Utterly dumbfounded, Ji-hyun can only stare at the burger in confusion. The cult leader announces that their muscles are replenished and commands everyone to move. The cult members are revealed to be a rock band, chanting workout slogans. Caught in the crowd, Jihyun and the blonde girl are bewildered by the bizarre workout-themed concert. A flyer reveals the event is actually a Megadeth charity rock performance. Jihyun connects the dots, realizing their good deeds are just performed in the creepiest way possible. The band continues its intense, muscle-worshipping musical performance. Relieved, Jihyun listens as the lead singer calls out to his little sister in the crowd. The sister reflects on how foolish she was to worry, realizing her brother hasn't changed. Crying tears of joy, she understands he was just making everyone happy, as he always did for her. Jihyun watches the silhouettes of the band performing for the roaring crowd. She realizes that hero ranks don't matter. These people are the ones who truly bring joy. The band performs with incredible energy, rocking out on stage. With a warm, genuine smile, Jihyun decides that they are the real heroes. Now fully converted, Jihyun and the sister headbang, along with the rest of the cheering fans. The other band members shred on their instruments, passionately singing their workout anthems. The blonde singer passionately performs his workout anthem, screaming, "Go to health." The scene shifts to a derelict, crumbling building at night. A colossal, futuristic key materializes in the vastness of space. Malang devours a hamburger, clarifying that the blood is 100% organic ketchup. A promotional title card for the series appears. A promotional page for the Scanilation team is displayed. 2 protein shakers clink together in a celebratory cheers. The blonde man praises the concert, noting the huge reaction to Malwang's performance. Malang's face glows with pride as he agrees the ketchup-fueled performance was unstoppable. As the blonde man laughs, Malwang strikes a dramatic pose, comically crying that the memory is too bright for his eyes. Malang playfully chases the blonde man, who taunts him to try and catch him. Jihyun and the blonde man's sister watch the chaos, wondering who these new people are. The blonde man taunts Malwang as his sister scolds him for starting trouble. Jihyun recalls the intense, Megadeth band from the concert, stunned to see them now as goofy, smiling men. Jihyun asks why their faces look so different, and the sister tiredly replies, "I told you, fools." Malwang finally tackles the blonde man, pinning him down and demanding to know if he wants to mess with him again. A surge of energy crackles around Malwang's determined face. Malang vows to return from the bathroom to teach his friend a lesson, as another man offers to join him. As they walk down the hall, the man notes Malwang's excited mood, and Malwang laughs about how fun his friends are. A shy, brown-haired woman looks up from her phone, stopping Malwang in his tracks. Malang beams with delight, instantly recognizing his #1 female fan.
The fan asks him for a favor, and as he eagerly agrees, she shoves him aside, telling him to move.
She excitedly peppers the red-haired man behind him with questions, leaving a dejected Malwang collapsed on the floor. Malang lies on the ground, weeping dramatically over the rejection. Meanwhile, the blonde man confirms the concert's charitable donation was successful, sharing a celebratory fist bump. The sister remarks that they're truly warm-hearted people, and Jihyun agrees their impact is huge. As the blonde man celebrates, it's explained that he and Malwang helped those who had lost everything to monsters. In a flashback, a helping hand is offered, revealing the band was formed by those they saved to help others. Malang and the blonde man reach out, embodying their mission to help. Jihyun reflects that Malwang's good energy draws people to him, and she smiles, feeling its effect herself. When Jihyun asks if the sister and her brother are dating, the sister recoils in flustered horror. A flashback shows a younger, hooded person gasping for breath in exhaustion. The person struggles intensely on an exercise bike. Finally, they collapse from the bike onto the gym floor. A man and woman stare in shock at the fallen person. The person, revealed to be the sister, grabs the handlebar with renewed determination. Her face contorts in a pained grimace as someone calls out to her. A man in a green shirt yells at her to stop her 3-hour cardio session, but she tells him to get lost. He introduces himself as the gym director, but she screams back at the talking horse to leave her alone. She lashes out, asking if people enjoy watching her and demanding they stop paying attention to her. The director calmly asks who is sneering at her, catching her off guard. In her mind, she sees everyone in the gym wearing mocking masks and ridiculing her efforts. The reality, however, is that the other gym members are focused on their own workouts, ignoring her completely. The director tells her it's a misunderstanding as his hand moves toward her. In the next moment, She is sent flying across the gym floor. The director stands with his back turned, looking out at the city. The scene transitions to the exterior of the gym building. The sister is now struggling on a stair climber machine. She loses her footing, crying out as she begins to fall. A hand suddenly catches her as a voice remarks on her energetic return. A large man in a yellow tracksuit grins at a shocked girl. She points at his stomach, asking what happened. He blames a food tour. He blissfully remembers the wonderful feeling of being full. Clenching her fist, she warns him that everyone will stare. She fears people will judge and sneer, thinking he can't be loved. "You can't be loved," she cries, her face streaked with tears. In the gym, a shadowy monster lies defeated on the floor. The blonde man glares furiously, asking Malwang what's wrong with his face. The girl points out his stomach as the blonde man jokes about weighing him. Malwang proudly pats his full belly, leaving the girl confused. The band members gather, jokingly admiring Malwang's new curves as he poses proudly. The girl stares in stunned silence as they praise his gloriously bumpy physique. Malwang explains that people's opinions don't change easily, so he might as well do what he wants. Her eyes widen in understanding as he says he's just being himself. He wonders aloud why he ever let himself stress so much about it. He smiles, declaring they should enjoy everything, whether it's exercise or not. His words leave a deep and lasting impression on her. In a flashback, she struggles to lift a heavy barbell at the gym.
The gym director grabs her by the hair, screaming at her intensely.
Later, the two of them are shown happily sharing a large meal together. A silhouette reveals her training again with renewed, intense determination. The gym director watches her progress, a small smile on his face. With a powerful cry, her eye glowing, she lifts a heavy pole overhead. Demonic figures appear behind her, cheering on her high-quality health with maniacal laughter. Exhausted but accomplished, she pants for breath after her intense workout. Her expression is one of pure, hardened determination. She breaks into a bright, confident smile, sweat beading on her face. In the present, she simply replies that there's nothing much between them. Crouching, she wonders why Ji-hyun is taking so long in the bathroom. A sudden earthquake violently shakes the room, throwing everyone off balance. The entire city street trembles and shakes under the night sky. Inside the gym, members look up in confusion and alarm. The group rushes outside as a woman asks Malwang and Ki-woong what the rumbling is. A colossal, futuristic pyramid descends from the sky, hovering over the city. Staring up at the glowing object, one of them asks what it is. The red-haired man gets an evacuation alert, sparking a debate among the heroes about whether to leave. He turns to Malwang, asking for his decision on what to do. Terrified, Malwang stammers that facing the object is impossible, shocking the pink-haired woman. He yells at them to obey the order as a wave of energy engulfs them. The trio watches the bizarre event unfold, their faces a mix of shock and resolve. A massive pillar of blue energy erupts from the ground below them. A mysterious observer notes their bizarre form, excited to test the warrior's strength. A grotesque monster, a legion commander, emerges and asks if it's time to harvest. Maleng bursts into derisive laughter, asking what the ridiculous creature is. The pyramid corrects the creature, identifying itself as the 5th Legion commander. A cosmic being explains their mission is failing, as humans are eliminating their warriors. The monster furiously vows to wipe out the parasites, confusing the onlookers. Maleng calmly walks toward the monster as Ji-hyun calls out to him in alarm. The blonde man holds a small creature, pleading with Malwang to stop and come back. As the monster watches in confusion, Malwang grins menacingly, asking if they're scared. Suddenly, his friends mirror his expression, their faces twisting into identical sinister grins. Malwang cracks his knuckles, confidently stating that teaching kids is his specialty. As the green alien fumes, Malwang yells about illegal spaceship parking, making the creature realize its mistake. The green creature looks up in awe at the massive, glowing technological structure. Wham! Malwang launches a powerful kick, striking the alien directly in the face. The impact sends the alien flying, crashing violently into the side of a skyscraper. Malwang smirks, mockingly asking who is exterminating whom. As the furious alien vows to smash the bugs, Malwang suddenly yells for it to wait, though he suspects it's a trick. Suddenly, the blonde man tackles the alien in a mega-dead cross dumbbell tackle, leaving Malwang feeling betrayed. The rest of the band leaps in with a mega-dead double swing, as the blonde man tells them he'll finish it. Malwang intercepts, yelling, "This is mine," as he unleashes a special attack, Horse King Punch. The blonde man watches in horror as Mao Wang's determined face moves in for the final blow. The punch connects with an explosive burst of blue energy that shatters the ground around them. Wah! A shockwave from the blast turns the screaming onlookers, including the pink-haired woman, into stone. The aftermath reveals a street filled with petrified people, with Mao Wang standing alone in the distance. The red-haired man stares at the stone figures in utter disbelief, murmuring that it's impossible. The horrified expressions of the petrified crowd are frozen in time. Mao Wang looks down in shock to see his own leg has turned to stone, lamenting his million-dollar leg. He calls out for Dave as a stony hand reaches toward him from the ground. He looks down to see the petrified face of the blonde man, Dave, reaching for him. The blonde man's frozen, terrified face is reflected in Mao Wang's eye. The stone form of the blonde man begins to crack and crumble apart. A large rock falls on Mao Wang's head as he kneels in despair. The blonde man's sister screams in agony, her small, fox-like companion wailing beside her. The rest of the group watches, their faces frozen in pure shock and horror. The alien monster opens its massive maw, charging a powerful ball of energy. Just as the blast is about to hit, the blonde man's giant, petrified hand rises to shield his sister. Mao Wang's eyes are wide with utter shock and terror. As the sister screams, Oppa, the petrified hand continues to protect her. Mao Wang looks up at the sky, screaming that this must be a lie. His eyes reflect the raw horror of watching his friend sacrifice himself. A montage of memories flashes by, showing Mao Wang and the blonde man laughing and enjoying life together. The blonde man's shattered stone head lies broken on the ground. His sister lets out a heart-wrenching scream, tears streaming down her face. The remaining band members cry out for their leader, utterly lost and confused. Annoyed by the noise, the monster tells the pest to be quiet as it charges another blast. The monster's blast is suddenly intercepted by a rainbow-colored energy beam as a voice calls for Mao Wang. Screaming in pure rage, Mao Wang's body is torn apart by an overwhelming, chaotic power. A distorted image on a screen shows Mao Wang being vaporized by a blinding light. Mao Wang reappears, now surrounded by a swirling, multicolored aura of immense power. Moving at blinding speed, he unleashes a furious assault on the alien creature. His energy tears through the city as he flies through the air, creating massive shockwaves. Recognizing the energy, the pink-haired woman realizes it's the same power from before. With glowing yellow eyes, Mao Wang relentlessly pummels the alien monster. A man with white hair is sent flying back from the sheer force of Mao Wang's rage. The monster takes a punch to the face, remarking that it's not bad for a pest. The creature catches Mao Wang's fist, coldly telling him it's time to sleep. A powerful blow sends Mao Wang hurtling backward through the air. He screams in agony as he coughs up a massive spray of blood. The pink-haired woman and her companion scream his name in terror. The green alien's body begins to glow ominously as it powers up. Wham! He delivers a brutal flurry of punches to the alien's face. The creature's power sends him flying backward through the air. A massive explosion erupts as the blonde man's sister screams for her brother. The green creature looks down at its hand in surprise, asking, "Who?" Crack. A foot in a sandal steps firmly onto the cracked ground. Bloodied but defiant, Mao Wang staggers to his feet, screaming with glowing eyes. The alien monster laughs maniacally, declaring this is fun as it charges a blue energy ball. The pink-haired woman screams for Mao Wang to stop as he charges forward recklessly. Crying, she desperately begs him to stop his rampage. A powerful beam of crimson energy suddenly engulfs Mao Wang. The red energy beam strikes its target in a brilliant flash. As the pink-haired woman watches in shock, a gray-haired woman with glowing red hands appears, calling out, "Why Yura SSI?" The gray-haired woman tells him he's lost his mind and that she'll handle it, urging everyone else to run. Facing the ruined city, she declares that as an S rank, she won't fall easily to a single opponent. The massive alien cube suddenly activates, glowing with intense blue energy. A wave of digital energy descends from the cube. The alien creature begins to dematerialize in the blue light. Tesk, the creature says they're lucky. But this is the end, as it has other places to be. The cube issues a command to clear them all away, as an army of monsters emerges from the shadows. The cube pulses with a brilliant light, finalizing its summons. A blinding flash of light emanates from the alien structure. Yura's eyes widen in absolute horror at the sight. A massive horde of dark creatures swarms through the city streets. Kiao! One of the monsters lunges forward with a terrifying screech. The gray-haired woman struggles against the tide, cursing their slow movements and telling someone to get out of her way. She shoves the creature back, screaming for Yura to get away. Her terrified face is reflected in the sharp claw of a monster. A massive beam of golden energy erupts, blasting the creatures away from her. The powerful blast tears through the monster horde. The gray-haired woman's eye widens in shock at the sudden intervention. A new figure lands on the battlefield. Standing before the stunned woman, a man in a lab coat with mechanical arms announces his arrival as the prince on the white horse. Introduced as the S-rank hero, 21st century boy, Juhan. Juhan casually asks the gray-haired woman why she's late. Seeing a bloody wound on her side, his expression twists into pure fury as he asks who dared to scratch his lovely fiancée. His tiny mechanical companion echoes his rage, vowing it won't forgive this. Enraged, Juhan launches himself into the air, surrounded by flames. He unleashes a fiery assault, screaming about them making his honey bleed. With a furious roar, he yells for them to die. Kyaha! The fiery explosion engulfs the monsters as the blonde man's sister screams. Crying for her brother, she finds herself cornered by a massive, snarling beast. In a blur of motion, a man with glasses sweeps in, saving her and another from the monster's claws. His face is set with cold, grim determination. How? His fist punches clean through a monster's chest. He carves a bloody path through the horde with brutal efficiency. Yura stares in shock, recognizing the mysterious fighter from a past memory.
The man stands over the frightened girl, identified only as this manager, a powerless, ordinary person.
He gently asks the gray-haired woman to take care of them, but she urges him to retreat from the danger. The gym manager coolly tells her not to worry and to focus on the monsters. As the manager charges forward, the blonde man's followers join the fray, shouting about revenge for their leader. They bravely charge headfirst into the overwhelming army of monsters. The gray-haired woman furiously punches monsters, screaming that she can't stand it and won't take responsibility. With tears in her eyes, the pink-haired woman declares she'll help Yura and save Manhwa. A montage shows the heroes in a desperate battle against the overwhelming horde. A tiny angelic creature with boxing gloves unleashes a powerful, glowing punch. The heroes are dwarfed by the sheer scale of the monstrous army swarming them. The battle's aftermath reveals a street littered with the bloody corpses of countless monsters. Yura is annoyed as Juhan's face comically enlarges to kiss her, offering to huff and puff on her wounds. As Juhan rests on Yura's lap, the shocked pink-haired woman asks if he's her boyfriend, which Yura denies. Juhan's expression turns serious as he suddenly realizes someone is missing from their group. The group looks around the desolate ruins, questioning where the old man, the big mouth, has gone. The scene shifts to a dark, moonlit forest, filled with an eerie silence. A bloodied and beaten Manhwa floats unconscious in glowing blue water. The blood-spattered gym manager stands resolute, the text declaring he will tear monsters apart with his bare hands. A massive, glowing blue technological structure hangs ominously above the destroyed city. More glowing blue structures fill the sky, casting a digital light over the ruins. A terrified young woman trembles on the ground as demonic creatures descend from above. Her face is a mask of pure terror as the monsters close in. In the Heroes Alliance executive meeting room, a grim report concludes that, at this rate, humanity has less than a month. An official states that the attacks are being led by a Legion-level unit, and if they fail, Earth will be scrapped. The dire warning is punctuated by a vision of the Earth cracking apart in a fiery explosion. Several digital profiles flash by on a high-tech screen. A profile for U-1608 is on hold as officials question if they've entered the blooming phase and note a problem. In the silent meeting room, a voice hesitantly breaks the tension. Two strange bird-like monsters fly over the city's ruins, crossing paths with a lone white dove. A masked figure watches from a rooftop as the white dove is suddenly struck from the sky. Through bird calls, one scout signals to move, while the other confirms it got it, as a signal lights up the city. A bright, pixelated text glows intensely. A small drone flies over a building highlighted by a glowing orange scanner. Back at a gym, Yura angrily crushes her phone, frustrated that the association isn't responding, while Jihyun worries something is wrong. As Jihyun laments that healing is all she can do, the red-haired man reassures her that her power is saving them. She worries that her healing isn't enough for the small orange creature, blaming the horsehead geezer. Jihyun calls out to Juhan as he runs into the room, followed by floating horsehead text boxes. Juhan explains he hid the Megadeth members, as his small companion complains about how much they were all crying. Flirtatiously, Juhan leans in to ask the gray-haired woman about her brother, much to her annoyance. The red-haired man explains that Malwang has a divine beast, a concept the pink-haired woman doesn't understand. He elaborates that a divine beast shares everything with its master feelings and pain, making them an inseparable single being. Juhan cheekily suggests he and the gray-haired woman are just as inseparable, earning him an angry glare. Ji-hoon realizes this explains why Mr. Horse King seemed so off after his friend's death. The red-haired man confirms Malwang's behavior is understandable after what happened to Dave, whom Ji-hoon recognizes as her brother. The red-haired man reveals that he heard Dave was like a mentor to Mr. Horse King. A flashback begins, showing a lanky man facing a mysterious, cloaked figure on a grassy field. The man romantically presents a beautiful bouquet of roses to the figure. A delicate hand reaches out to accept the offered bouquet. Wham! The romantic gesture ends with a brutal punch to the man's face. The woman calls him disgusting and orders him to never show his face again, leaving him heartbroken on the ground. The man cries that no one understands his love and vows to give up, only to see another couple nearby. He watches in disbelief as a man with a terrifying clown face is showered with affection by two women who find him hilarious. He's stunned that women still like a man who looks like that, wondering if he's a true dating master. In desperation, he throws himself to the ground, bowing before the clown-faced man and his companions. He screams with frantic determination, begging the dating master to teach him how to experience true love. The two women urge their companion to leave, finding the heartbroken man on the ground scary. He grits his teeth, sweating profusely in silent agony. The clown-faced man apologizes to his dates, announcing their time together is over. Grabbing the distraught man, he maniacally promises to forge him into a real man. The scene shifts to city buildings as his plan to attract women is revealed. In a gym, he declares that the secret is solid, beautiful muscles. With a terrifying grin, he welcomes the man to his rebirth in health. A montage shows the man screaming through grueling workouts on Valentine's, Rose, and Silver Day. He roars, pushing through the intense, painful training. The clown-faced man claps, approving of his trainee's new muscular form. He proudly tells the exhausted man that he finally looks decent. With his basic physical training complete, the man now has a chiseled physique. He's handed a suit, told it's the final puzzle piece to becoming a true man. The clown-faced man sends him off to become a dating master on his hell love day. The woman he was rejected by feigns a coincidental meeting before her eyes widen in shock. A flamboyant figure with green and pink hair makes a dazzling entrance. Now a garish clown, he presents roses, boasting of a real man's scent as the woman stares in disgust. The flashback ends as the man, now bloodied, screams for an unseen tormentor to stop. He's seen floating unconscious in water, mumbling and then snoring. The clown-faced man roars in disbelief, shouting that his plan was a failure. Dejected, he questions how his flawless theory failed, his confidence completely shattered. He can't believe his ultimate move, perfected over 10 years, was completely ineffective. Removing the towel, his handsome, unpainted face is revealed as he wonders what went wrong. The trainee, in his ridiculous outfit, stares forward with a look of utter shock. He clutches his head, letting out a defeated, hollow laugh. When the blonde man asks why he's laughing, he breaks down into hysterical sobs. The blonde man explodes with rage, grabbing the trainee and calling him a scammer, demanding to know how old he is, to which the trainee meekly replies he is 28. The blonde man tearfully screams at him to call him Hyung. Plunged into the water, the man from the flashback begs for it to stop. In a dark, ominous forest, a voice desperately yells to run. Back in the present, the red-haired man ponders Mr. Horse King's grief, but Ji-hoon scoffs that the story didn't sound like he cared at all. Yura insists that her brother is in trouble, and they must find him immediately. Juhan reveals that it's impossible, as his drones can't find him anywhere nearby. Furious, Yura declares that she will go look for her brother alone. She cries, terrified of what will happen if her brother disappears. Ji-hoon asks Juhan for another way, but he admits even he has his limits. As the group despairs, the red-haired man spots a shadowy figure entering the room. His eyes widen in alarm, sweating as he realizes they have an intruder. A voice from the doorway theatrically asks who ordered a handful of love. A flamboyant man with pink and white hair appears, offering to embrace their wounds. The group stares, baffled, as the newcomer, Heart King, observes the ladies and one little boy. Heart King explains that his love radar, which is never wrong, led him to a love-starved man. Juhan is shocked, questioning how he bypassed the building's hologram security. Heart King poses, declaring that nothing can block the unblockable power of love. A brilliant pink heart-shaped energy glows as he questions their mention of a radar. A nearby metal locker begins to shake violently. Terrified pink eyes peer from the locker vents, wondering why the radar wasn't off. The locker bursts open as Heart King grabs the screaming red-haired man, calling him his love-hungry prize. As Ji-hyun shouts his name, Heart King tells her to wait, as he's in the middle of a meal. Ji-hyun stares at the pink energy engulfing the red-haired man, her eyes widening in horrified recognition as she shouts, "That!" Ji-hyun holds onto Heart King, who complains that he can't stand the soft skin of girls. She leaps into battle against shadowy monsters, warning Heart King that it's dangerous. A thorny vine whips through the air, closing in on its target. She unleashes a storm of pink energy, decimating the monsters around her. Heart King nonchalantly watches the fight, remarking how chill it is. Elsewhere, a bloodied survivor wonders if Mr. Horse King's signal is still far away. As Ji-hyun thinks of Mr. Horse King, she grips Heart King's clothes, who complains she's holding him too tightly. With a look of determination, she tells him to wait a little longer, completely ignoring his protests. Heart King strikes a pose, proudly showing off his lethal ultimate hero costume. A man with black hair stares in shock as he steps into a pool of red liquid. Now floating in the red pool, a disembodied voice taunts him for playing superhero. Wah! He flails in panic, screaming as he realizes the liquid is blood. He angrily demands to know who his tormentor is, as the voice mocks his alpha male act. The next chapter begins. The black-haired man watches in horror as a muscular man with white hair is brutally torn to pieces. Gah. Realizing the man's terrifying grin means it was all a bluff, he lands a furious punch. The white-haired man coughs up blood, complaining about the pain as his attacker meekly apologizes for being startled. 3 men now stand over him, contemptuously asking if he thinks they're a joke. Kneeling in the red pool, he looks up, paralyzed with fear. His eyes widen in utter disbelief and confusion. A bully smacks him on the head, demanding his lunch bread. Chewing the bread, the bully calls him a loser for trying to starve him. Terrified, the bullied boy stammers that a teacher had called for him. The memory of being cornered by bullies merges with his present reality, causing him to recoil in shock. His beaten past self and his current self stare in unison as he realizes he's back in school. A mysterious figure holds him down in the blood, mockingly confirming he is the loser Horse King. He struggles in confusion, demanding to know who is there and what's happening. A scarred figure with a cruel smile taunts him, reminding him he was just a skinny breadrunner. Stuttering in denial, Horse King desperately asks what he's talking about. A stone-like figure looms over him, lamenting its fate, and Horse King screams out, "D-Dave." The figure, Dave, calls him a complete troll for pretending to be a hero. Dave laughs, mocking his alpha male and main character delusions and blaming him for everything. Arg. He screams in anguish as Dave furiously questions why he had to die for him. He jolts awake on a subway car, surrounded by unconscious passengers, wondering where he is. The sun sets as the train travels along an elevated track. Inside the train, a bizarre fight is underway between a man dressed as a centurion and another as Jesus. As a futuristic vehicle speeds past, a woman with gray hair falls on Horse King, who tells the bat to get off. The woman, Yura, looks down on him, calling him a powerless brat for daring to give her orders. He realizes he was completely fooled, seeing himself as a villain while reading about Dave's meaningless sacrifice to save him. A man in a red tracksuit closes the book, musing that even villains must have standards. A red-haired man with glowing eyes appears, calling him trash, and Horse King recognizes him as Gi-woong. Wham! Gi-woong delivers a powerful kick, shouting for him to sit down. A professional villain with a megaphone arrives, asking if they've found his target. Different voices from his past and present all call him a loser and a scammer, demanding he sit down. The man with the megaphone continues his tirade, calling him a perverted freak. A crying woman accuses him of murder, while Horse King spirals, questioning if he is all those terrible things. A dark, shadowy figure looms over him, repeating the insults as Horse King demands to know its identity. He screams in desperation, insisting he was only trying to protect everyone. A distorted vision of Dave appears, calling him a two-faced liar who is responsible for his death. His eyes widen in a silent scream of pure, unadulterated terror. The pink-haired woman frantically shakes Mr. Horse King, trying to wake him. She declares he needs a hospital, but her white-haired companion firmly objects. He tells a frantic Ji-hyun that Horse King isn't just unconscious and a hospital won't help. He struggles to explain, comparing it to a deep sleep and confusing Ji-hyun by citing woman's intuition. To explain, he points directly to Horse King's moist lips. He likens him to a cursed prince, saying there's only one way to wake him. Puckering his glittery lips, he moves in for a princess's kiss. Screaming in disgust, Ji-hyun sends him flying with a powerful punch. He splashes into the water as she offers a half-hearted apology. Her expression becomes cold and determined. She gently places her hands on his chest, calling his name. Enveloped in a vibrant pink aura, she promises to heal him. The scene shifts as a citywide emergency alert warns of a powerful approaching monster. A girl with white hair warns everyone to be careful as a massive explosion erupts. The young man despairs over the unconscious and bloodied girl, Yura. Amidst the rubble, a battered, red-haired man looks up in disbelief at the carnage. Oh, he looks up in alarm as two massive masked figures loom over him. The two figures deliver a brutal, synchronized punch to his face. A defiant man glares forward, while another is viciously choked. Man yells for his manager, who is being overpowered by three masked assailants. Coup! One of the masked men grins with bloody teeth, savoring the violence. Wah! The red-haired man cries out as he's sent flying by a brutal kick. He screams for Juhan as the boy is violently struck down. A bloodied Juhan realizes with dawning horror that these aren't just monsters. A massive fist smashes down towards a defenseless victim. The powerful blow slams them into the fractured pavement. Now held captive, the boy watches helplessly as his arm sparks with energy. He screams, "Nuna!" as a red-masked villain closes in on the fallen Yura. A checkered masked enemy executes a powerful spinning kick. The attacker pauses mid-assault, questioning what it just felt. The red-haired man snarls, having thrown himself over Yura to shield her. With a bloodied smile, he grimly accepts that this is the end. He thinks of his heroic role models, wishing for a death as cool as theirs. Resigned, he bids farewell to his dream, believing his life is over. A brilliant yellow scarf flutters down into the desolate scene. A costumed hero in a red and white suit strikes a confident pose. The red-haired man recognizes the legendary hero, Red Mask. The masked villain looks down, confused to find its captive has vanished. A man with spiky white hair holds two rescued companions, declaring he found a gap. He yells at Red Mask, telling him now is his chance to attack. Red Mask remains perfectly still, arms crossed, saying nothing. He finally speaks, calmly stating, "Not yet, huh?" The red-haired man is confused as an enemy appears behind him. The villain lands a devastating blow, sending the man flying. A cameraman captures the action, praising the great angle of an attack. The camera zooms in on the bloodied Yura, calling it a good scene. The bewildered red-haired man realizes the entire battle is just a movie set. The hero, Red Mask, is pampered by his film crew between takes. A crew member stands by with a fan, but the hero again says, "Not yet." As the fake battle continues, Red Mask smiles and poses for the camera. A cameraman praises the red-haired man's pained look and asks for a more desperate expression. On the film set, the crew compliments Red Mask's acting, which he smugly accepts. Red Mask gets a touch-up, smiling as he's told he did a great job. He thanks the red-haired man, saying a trashy villain makes the hero shine brighter. Red Mask laughs, telling the confused man he was just kidding, and the viewers will love it. With a smile, he asks the red-haired man to work with him again so he can stand out more. Red Mask strikes a heroic pose, declaring it's time to show everyone that justice prevails. The bloodied red-haired man internalizes the, quote, message of hope. Elsewhere, a group of kids excitedly watches a live stream, counting down from 5 seconds. As the countdown hits 1, supportive messages for Red Mask fill the screen. Red Mask runs toward the camera, reassuring everyone that he won't let them die. He leaps into the air, vowing to go anywhere to save people in danger. Landing with a flourish, Red Mask announces his arrival and calls out his enemy. The red-haired man furiously screams at Red Mask, who looks on in confusion. He continues his tirade, demanding to know when the hero is going to wake up. The bizarre insults continue as his muscles bulge with power. Screaming maniacally, he declares that everyone will die by his hand. The cameraman breaks character to complain about the audio, but the red-haired man calmly points out his fly is open. Gasp! The cameraman looks down in panic, realizing his underwear is on broadcast. The red-haired man stares down the distracted cameraman. Wham! He punches the cameraman, cheerfully saying, "Well, hello." Onlookers are stunned as the good citizen attacks, his body now shrouded in green energy. A terrifying, sharp-toothed grin spreads across his face as he mockingly repeats, "Citizen?" With a demonic glare, he declares the real villain is here and commands everyone to kneel. One of the masked enemies from the fake battle trembles in fear, recognizing the legendary villain. A dark, hooded demon lord is identified as the universe's worst trash humanity monster. A drone buzzes near Red Mask, who seems to receive an instruction to stop the broadcast. The red-haired man, now with a sinister energy mask, thinks it's a good shot and recognizes the face. Red Mask grins wickedly, remembering the man was good at getting hit and anticipating a great scene. Red Mask points, calling him a cowardly villain, a title the man laughingly embraces. Declaring that this is what a villain should be, Red Mask unleashes a powerful blast of golden energy. The red-haired man appears behind the hero, having anticipated the attack. He grabs a nearby cameraman, using him as a hostage while taunting Red Mask. Red Mask feigns surprise for the camera, calling the move underhanded. The red-haired man screams that of course he's underhanded, because he's a villain. He casually throws the hostage away as the fight continues. Two masked figures watch with popcorn, one calling the performance amazing while the other notes he's worse than them. Cough. Red Mask recovers, vowing in the name of justice that he won't forgive the villain. As Red Mask lunges forward, the villain grins, retorting that he should be the one saying that. The two warriors clash in a violent explosion of power. They exchange a blinding flurry of high-speed attacks. A bloodied spectator notes the fight is neck and neck, but his companion scolds him for being impressed. The spectator realizes the rank B hero is hiding his true strength to create a more dramatic scene. Cue. After taking a heavy blow, Red Mask is told he's taken enough hits and it's time to end it. Red Mask begins to summon elemental power into his hand. He calls upon the spirits of fire, water, wind, and earth to grant him their power. The four elements merge around his fist, forming a powerful attack. The cameraman cheers for the hard punch as Red Mask prepares to strike. A vortex of fire, water, wind, and earth swirls around Red Mask's fist. The massive elemental tornado rushes towards the villain. Thump. The red-haired man lies defeated on the fractured ground. A bloodied man with shattered glasses grits his teeth, believing it's over. Wham! A red-armored figure is sent flying from a powerful blow. A man in a lab coat crawls through the rubble, screaming in horror. Onlookers react with shock and fear as they watch the carnage unfold on their phones. Huh? Splattered with blood, Red Mask looks stunned after taking a punch. Pow! Two massive fists collide in a starburst of destructive energy. The two massive masked figures from the film set loom over the fallen red-haired man. The live broadcast of the fight is suddenly interrupted by a cute, cat-themed show. Standing before the two giants, the red-haired man hears them plead to be taken in by the demon lord. The two massive figures bow deeply before the red-haired man. One of the masked figures looks up in reverence, acknowledging him as the demon lord. The red-haired man's eyes glow green as he grins maniacally, agreeing to give it a try while the masked figures laugh. With a series of powerful blows, he effortlessly defeats the two giants, ending with a massive energy blast. A white-haired woman stands amid the destruction, calling the defeated figures idiots and declaring the fight is over. In a dark vision, the muscular man stands before a looming shadow that repeatedly calls him a demon. He screams that it's a misunderstanding, and he was only trying to protect them, but a voice calls him a liar named Jung. A distorted, puppet-like vision of Dave appears as the man screams in terror. He furiously scolds an unseen person for scaring him, while a white-haired figure lies unconscious below him. Huh? He looks up in confusion at a brilliant, glowing cross of light appearing in the darkness. A powerful godlike figure emerges from the light. The man wonders if it's Jesus, but then questions if God is bald. A beautiful, winged angel with long, pinkish-red hair descends from the heavenly light. The angel glares, angrily demanding to know what Mr. Malwang is doing. Mr. Malwang cries out in relief, calling her Angel Ji-hyun, but she tells him to stop. Nearby, a white-haired man rages that Malwang brought his fiancée. Ji-hyun's expression turns terrifying as she asks if they want to die, commanding them to stand at attention. Back in the forest, Ji-hyun places a glowing hand on the unconscious Mr. Malwang's chest, a tiny tiger on her shoulder. She closes her eyes, sensing Mr. Malwang's aura is filled with an unfamiliar fear and dread. The white-haired man with glittery lips leans over Mr. Malwang as Ji-hyun promises to heal him soon. Mr. Malwang suddenly coughs up blood, and Ji-hyun cries out his name in alarm. A vortex of swirling red and white energy churns on his chest as he questions what is happening. Ji-hyun realizes a cold, dark aura is colliding with Mr. Malwang's own energy inside him. Kyok! She watches his pained expression, desperately wondering what is happening to him. In a red-hued inner world, a muscular figure scolds Mr. Malwang and a white-haired man for slacking off while the world outside is in chaos. Mr. Malwang argues with the white-haired man, but a rabbit-like creature calls him a pathetic lackey, causing Ji-hyun to scream for them to shut up. Fed up, Ji-hyun declares they will stop talking and settle their dispute like men. Mr. Malwang and the white-haired man stare each other down, questioning her proposal to settle things. She announces a 3-major lift-weight battle to decide the winner. In a surreal gym, she explains the first event is the deadlift, where the weight must increase with each turn. A diagram explains the rules. Weight must increase by at least 10 kilograms, and a single failure results in an immediate loss. The rabbit-like announcer with glowing red eyes excitedly calls for the pull-ups to begin. Whoa! Mr. Malwang roars, starting the competition by attempting to deadlift an immense 450 kilogram. The white-haired man is stunned by the insane starting weight, while a blue-haired man declares he will end it in one go. Mr. Malwang collapses, failing his lift, as the chibi announcer confirms his loss. As the man named Tofu Malwang steps up, the original Malwang scoffs that a fake can't succeed, only to watch in disbelief as he lifts the weight easily, winning the first round. Tofu Malwang laughs, reminding his counterpart that in their inner world, imagination is everything. The original Malwang smirks, claiming he's just getting warmed up as the chibi announcer calls for round 2 bench press. He struggles to lift 200 kilograms, vowing to see his opponents lift and double it. The weights escalate dramatically as they trade lifts, climbing from 450 kilograms to 550 kilograms. Urgh! Pushing past his limits, Mr. Malwang strains to lift an incredible 600 kilogram. With a triumphant flex, Mr. Malwang wins the round with a 700 kilograms lift, leaving Tofu Malwang stunned at the unbelievable feat. Ji-hyun corrects the two men, pointing out that a Pele score is 3-2, not a tie. She declares there's no time to waste as people are dying, immediately starting the final round, squats. A fist clenches as the games are set to continue. Declaring it ends here, Tofu Malwang approaches a barbell loaded with 1,000 kilogram. Tofu Malwang screams that the weight is 1 ton, challenging Mr. Malwang to match him. Mr. Malwang calls it cheating, while the white-haired man complains that 100 kilograms was already hell. Thud. The 1-ton weight slams into the ground with immense force. Kyuyuk Tofu Malwang is blown back by the sheer force of the weight hitting the ground. Ji-hyun announces that Tofu Malwang has cleared 1 ton, and now it's Mr. Malwang's turn. On his hands and knees, Mr. Malwang looks defeated, as his opponent taunts him for giving up. Tofu Malwang grins, telling his counterpart to finally acknowledge how much trash he is, while the onlookers stare in disbelief. With a strained cry, Mr. Malwang shatters the barbell and the ground beneath him as Tofu Malwang watches in shock. An unbelievable 4,000 tons of weight, manifested as entire buildings, rises as the two men curse at each other. Arg screaming in agony, Mr. Malwang's body tears and bleeds as he attempts the impossible lift. Tofu Malwang stares in horror, realizing his opponent is actually trying to squat with buildings on his back. Straining under the impossible weight, Mr. Malwang feels the crushing pressure, believing it can't be done. As Mr. Malwang unleashes a desperate roar, Tofu Malwang mocks him for showing off, knowing the feat is impossible. Tofu Malwang continues his taunts, calling his counterpart a hopeless, simple-minded fool for not understanding the truth of his own weakness. Grinning through the pain, Mr. Malwang calls Tofu Malwang's taunts a waste and tells him to watch closely. Tofu Malwang reflects on his own weakness, remembering how Dave died and how it always ends in failure for him. He acknowledges Mr. Malwang's painful struggle, admitting how foolish it all looks from the outside. With a determined, pained grin, Mr. Malwang resolves that instead of being pathetic, he'll just take one more step forward. Tofu Malwang's expression shifts as he watches his counterpart's unwavering resolve. Wah! He suddenly screams in frustration, calling the other man a dumb bastard. Pointing an accusing finger, Tofu Malwang yells at Mr. Malwang to get up and lift the mere chunks of cement. Tears streaming down his face, Tofu Malwang screams, questioning if it's truly okay for his counterpart to lose to me. Ji-hyun watches intently, urging Mr. Malwang to finish the struggle quickly. A massive shockwave erupts as Mr. Malwang begins to rise with the incredible weight. Pure blue energy crackles around Mr. Malwang's thighs as he channels immense power into the lift. Wham! He completes the squat, slamming his foot down and shattering the entire ground. The inner world begins to crack and break apart like a sheet of glass. Ah! Tofu Malwang screams as he is consumed by the shattering reality. Ji-hyun is blown away by the ridiculous power as Tofu Malwang realizes the buildings themselves are breaking apart. A crumbling building is reflected in Tofu Malwang's terrified, glowing red eye. A massive, spectral tiger slams a building down, crushing Tofu Malwang beneath it. A voice echoes in the void, declaring this display of power is more like his true self. The glowing spectral tiger prowls amidst the shattered, floating remnants of the cityscape. The fierce tiger spirit lets out a mighty roar. The powerful spirit is revealed to be the emblem on Mr. Malwang's shorts as he stands tall. Back in reality, Mr. Malwang stands over a collapsed Ji-hyun in a sun-drenched forest. The petrification on his leg crumbles away as Ji-hyun internally wonders if he overcame his inner conflict. Mr. Malwang smiles down at her, announcing his return and that he kept his promise. Blushing, Ji-hyun calls him greasy and denies any promise was made as he materializes flowers and tells her to trust him. The man with glittery lips is overcome by Mr. Malwang's pheromones, wanting him desperately. With a serious expression, Mr. Malwang looks to the side, a small rabbit-like creature now perched on his shoulder. He gazes toward a distant light in the woods, wondering if the real battle is over. Elsewhere, a massive green alien looks down on a ruined city, confused as to how the human parasites are still alive. A bloodied woman with gray hair realizes the situation has become truly dangerous. Mr. Malwang bids a confused Ji-hyun farewell and instantly dashes off toward the battle. He smashes effortlessly through a horde of smaller green alien creatures. Ji-hyun and the other man watch in awe as Mr. Malwang unleashes his power, the man declaring him so sexy. Two robed figures mock a fallen, red-helmeted man for wearing a red mask without a team. In a ruined city, a voice declares that no matter the era, everyone will remember him. The massive green alien vows that all will be beneath his feet. A bloodied red-haired man, a man in a lab coat, and a gray-haired woman stare up defiantly. Two robed figures hide, worrying their betrayal has been discovered. A glowing blue cube taunts the green alien, asking if he's going to be defeated by mere humans. Observing the alien's significant damage, the cube's voice offers support, as an armored foot clenches in response. Ugh. As the human fighters are thrown back, the green alien vows to finish the fight in an instant. The man in the lab coat stares at a tablet, desperately needing 3 to 5 more minutes. The man with glasses notes his companion's plan, as the gray-haired woman resolves to buy him 3 minutes. The red-haired man steps forward, declaring the villain's scene isn't over and he will handle it. The lab coat man and the gray-haired woman yell at him, calling him a crazy psycho who should get out of the way. Grinning maniacally, the red-haired man tells them to stop messing around as he is already dying. He laughs, feeling an awesome power and the urge to kill them all. The two masked jesters cry out in terror, announcing the Demon King has returned. The red-haired man lunges at the green alien, calling him a rebel frog. The alien easily blocks the punch, dismissing his attacker as part of a savage race. Cough. The red-haired man spits blood from the impact, but prepares to strike again, telling the alien it's time for sleep. He unleashes a devastating kick that shatters the ground around them. The man in the lab coat screams out the fighter's name, Mr. Kiwong. Mr. Kiwong lies motionless amidst the rubble, seemingly defeated. The green alien scoffs at the fallen fighter, wondering who the cocky nobody was. A menacing, shadowy figure of the red-haired man rises behind the unsuspecting alien. His eyes glowing an eerie green, Kiwong stands surrounded by a powerful aura, shocking the alien. The alien screams at him to open his eyes as Kiwong's power erupts in a massive blast. A jester-like creature compliments his commander on the shot, but Kiwong laughs, revealing he was faking. Reveling in the rush of dopamine, Kiwong declares he can't control his overflowing power. The green alien compliments his endurance, then launches into a spinning attack. The powerful blow sends Kiwong flying backward through the air. Die! Kiwong screams as blood erupts from his body from the force of the attack. His companions wonder if the alien won, but Kiwong suddenly appears before his foe with a terrifying grin. Kiwong throws a powerful punch directly at the alien's face. Huh? The punch misses, slamming into the ground as Kiwong laughs manically, overflowing with power. A status window identifies him as the B-class hero Jiang Kiwong, whose Demon King ability grows with villain cliches. As multiple voices shout, "Finish him off," Kiwong unleashes a furious barrage of attacks on the alien, Cook. He lands a vicious uppercut, sending the alien flying. Declaring it useless, Kiwong slams his hands down, unleashing a massive shockwave from the ground. Bloodied, the alien realizes the attack is somehow passing through him. A glowing blue armored figure appears, enraged that someone would use such cheap tricks. The gray-haired woman screams for everyone to run as the figure unleashes a massive beam of light. The powerful blast leaves a gaping, smoking hole in a concrete structure. The gray-haired woman sits in shock, her clothes torn and her body trembling. The green alien holds a spiky-headed creature, telling it not to speak nonsense. He urges the creature to look at a new arrival on the scene. Mr. Mawang holds the injured Kiwong by the chin, telling him that was truly dangerous. In a surreal, flower-filled vision, the dazed Kiwong looks up and questions if it's Mr. Mawang. Overjoyed, the gray-haired woman and the lab coat man spot him, crying out, "Oppa!" in relief. The small rabbit-like creature from earlier is now a massive, glowing, super-evolved divine beast. Huh? A baffled Mr. Mawang is asked by a chibi version of the lab coat man if he successfully merged with the beast, Rang. Startled by the glowing creature, Mr. Mawang quickly laughs it off, joking that Rang almost killed him before striking a pose. A much larger, more muscular version of the alien appears, wondering how his opponent came back to life. The muscular green alien vows to kill him again as he's sent flying from a massive impact. Appearing instantly behind him, Mr. Mawang declares him too slow. The enraged alien calls him a bastard as Mr. Mawang grins, ready to strike. With a confident smile, Mr. Mawang tells the alien it's time to sleep now. Wham! He lands a devastating punch, shattering the ground beneath them. Humiliated, the muscular green alien leader screams at his forces to hurry up and kill them all. Surrounded by shadowy monsters, the spiky-headed creature nervously repeats the order to kill them. Ugh. As a blonde woman flees the monsters, another creature attacks a nearby building. The man in the lab coat reaches a terminal just in time, telling his allies to be on edge as it asks for a login code. With a deranged grin, he declares the password is "Yura is mine" forever, as the system grants access, shocking the gray-haired woman. Mechanical parts click together, assembling a new machine. The lab coat man proudly unveils a pink female robot, his and his sister's creation. Revealing the robot is named Jura Jr., he cradles the injured gray-haired woman, his sister Yura. Yelling Soltada, the man commands the pink robot to viciously tear through the monsters. At his command, the robot unleashes a powerful energy blast from its core. Arg, the muscular alien leader, screams in a rage, while Mr. Mawang notes that the outburst startled him. Enveloped in a swirling vortex of energy, the alien declares he's done joking and will finish them all. A man's face is pummeled by a brutal, blood-splattering punch. The divine beast, Rang, begins to glow with an intense, rainbow-colored light. Rang unleashes a massive pillar of golden energy, undergoing a powerful transformation. As the woman asks what's happening, the lab coat man realizes Mr. Mawang is about to reveal his true power. A narrator explains that an evolved divine beast can materialize its owner's potential as Mr. Mawang channels its power. Watching the spectacle, the lab coat man excitedly remarks that it's his first time seeing it too. Mr. Malwang's hand crackles with pure golden energy. His comrades watch in awe as Mr. Malwang's leg transforms into a massive glowing limb, which the woman recognizes as his potential. The green alien leader looks around in confusion, demanding to know what trick is being played. Mr. Malwang appears with a terrifying grin, telling his foe to look closely. Die. The spiky-headed creature unleashes a massive beam of destructive energy. The beam of pure blue energy rushes forward. Mr. Malwang materializes a massive, ornate golden weapon from his own energy, preparing to strike. Whoa! Declaring he can't hold back, Mr. Malwang's power erupts, sending his allies flying as they grunt in pain. New. As the woman cries out in terror, the green alien leader smirks at the overwhelming power. Rang channels its energy into Mr. Malwang, who unleashes an extreme explosion. The green alien leader's eyes widen in terror as the attack approaches. The landscape is completely annihilated by the massive, fiery explosion. Seen from orbit, the cataclysmic blast strikes the planet's surface. The green alien shields his face, caught in the blinding light of the attack. From the alien's point of view, a godlike silhouette of Mr. Malwang descends from the light. The alien's red eye reflects the overwhelming power. The tiger emblem on Mr. Malwang's shorts glows with an intense, pixelated light. The alien stares, mesmerized, as the glowing tiger is reflected in its eye, stammering about its size and color. Lost for words, the alien can only stare at the tiger's reflection. Ah, Mr. Malwang lets out a final, deafening war cry. His ultimate attack tears through the earth in a blinding flash of power. Elsewhere, a massive, futuristic citadel drifts silently through space. Inside, a regal, red-eyed figure sits upon a golden throne, drumming their fingers impatiently. A blonde-haired man with a goatee watches from afar, laughing to himself. Back on the battlefield, a muscular woman feels the immense vibration and asks what's happening. Overcome with emotion, a pink-haired woman recognizes the feeling, whispering that it's Malwang and that she believed in him. She knew he would overcome this trial as she soars through a sunlit forest. The battlefield is a wasteland of shattered concrete and rubble. Amidst the destruction lies the defeated, smiling mascot creature, bloodied and smoking. Grinning menacingly, Mr. Malwang wonders what to do with his fallen foe. Looking up at the blue cube, he questions aloud if he has truly won. Elsewhere, a formidable, long-haired man with dark skin observes the aftermath from afar. A preview reveals the gray-haired woman Yura and her robotic counterpart Mecha Yura teasing their mysterious connection. Mr. Malwang taunts the floating blue cube, daring the shut-in to come out and fight. The powerful, long-haired man poses dramatically before a glowing, digital background. In a grand throne room, a subordinate confirms to their seated leader that the fifth commander has fallen. The enthroned leader asks about the planet, as the subordinate notes its unique cultivation methods. Learning the natives evolved through combat, the leader scoffs, laughing maniacally at the concept. A subordinate suggests their power is worth researching, but the new, long-haired commander dismisses it as a waste of time. The enthroned leader contemptuously compares the humans to slightly larger bugs, calling their struggles childish games. The leader mockingly asks the seventh commander if a bug stronger than him could possibly exist. When asked if he feels pity for the bugs, the seventh commander firmly answers no. The seventh commander hesitates, questioning the idea of pity before admitting he misspoke. A dark flashback reveals him kneeling amid corpses, gasping about someone's powerful will. Ugh! Bloodied and defeated, he desperately questions why this has happened. In the fiery memory, he recognizes the strong determination that binds his very soul. A winged, blonde-haired figure comments on the smell of soap and his inherent cruelty. Overwhelmed by the memory, the seventh commander cries out in anguish. Whoa! Back in the present, his arrival shatters the ground, shocking the two jesters. Meow the divine beast, Rang, senses the danger, and Mr. Malwang acknowledges it. As the seventh commander unleashes a terrifying aura, Mr. Malwang grimly asks if they're in danger. The commander states that nothing has changed, his identity revealed as the unknown seventh commander. His foot crushes the ground, transforming the rock into sharp purple crystals. With incredible speed, the seventh commander appears behind the two jesters. The jesters turn, their faces masks of pure, unadulterated terror. The commander stands impassively as dust settles from his landing. He towers over the lab coat man, the robot, and their allies. The bloodied Yura stares up at the new threat in absolute horror. Paralyzed by fear, the man with glasses realizes he is completely unable to move. The seventh commander dismisses the group, declaring he's not interested in trash. Shadowy tendrils grab the two jesters, who desperately apologize to their commander. In a bloody flash, the seventh commander instantly obliterates his two subordinates. Damn it! The remaining heroes watch in shock, questioning if the commander just killed his own allies. His body, frozen by pressure, Mr. Malwang grits his teeth and launches himself forward. Boom! His punch connects with the commander, unleashing a massive shockwave. Mr. Malwang is thrown backward from the recoil, struggling against his opponent's power. The commander effortlessly stops the punch with one hand, his expression unchanged. Ugh! The commander taunts him, asking if that is all he has. Gasp! Lifting Mr. Malwang by his head, the commander demands an answer. He asks how the humans managed to awaken beyond their predetermined physical limits. Defiantly, Mr. Malwang screams 501 and bites the commander's arm. The commander calmly states that the chance to surrender was clearly given. He brutally slams Mr. Malwang into the shattered earth below. Arg! The impact craters the ground as Mr. Malwang cries out in agony. The commander's foot stands ominously over the defeated Mr. Malwang. Yura screams his name in despair, crying out, "Oh, Appa!" Unfortunately for the commander, massive golden claws of energy erupt from the ground around him. Golden energy claws erupt violently from the earth. Bidding him goodbye, the commander crushes Mr. Malwang's body with the massive claws. Mr. Malwang chokes on his own blood in agony. A flash of red light signals a momentary shift. The golden claws crash down, but the commander notices something is wrong. Flesh and bone are pulverized by the immense impact. Suddenly glowing with a pink aura, Mr. Malwang thinks to himself that the protagonist always resurrects. The seventh commander looks on in shock, questioning the strange aura emanating from his opponent's body. An ethereal tiger spirit with blazing eyes lets out a ferocious roar. The seventh commander stares in disbelief at the sudden turn of events. A new power shatters the golden energy claws from within. A brown-haired woman deflects an attack as a determined Mr. Malwang grits his teeth. Roaring that he can't take it anymore, Mr. Malwang unleashes his own fiery power. He carves a massive trench through the battlefield with a single energy wave. The commander leaps through the air, dodging a barrage of energy blasts. A pink-haired woman in a striking black outfit appears, apologizing for her late arrival. The beautiful hero strikes a pose as Yura, from a corner, asks if this is the one who hurt her darling. As a massive truck barrels through the ruins, a voice asks if anyone requested background music. On the truck, a masked rock band named Megadeth tells everyone to go to hell, shocking onlookers. A woman with blonde and teal hair states they wouldn't miss the highlight. Revealing a crazed, clown-like face, she tells a confused Mr. Malwang that Rock will never die. Yura and the lab coat man look on, wondering who these new arrivals are and if she recognizes the voice. A smaller, pink-haired girl cries out for her appa as she recognizes the clown-faced woman as her sister. The band strikes a pose, proudly announcing the arrival of Megadeth Season 2. Mr. Malwang grins, cheekily asking the commander to repeat his question. Holding up Rang, he offers to explain how to overcome limits, promising to make the answer clear. He begins to explain the reason why they can't afford to fall. One by one, the newcomers embody different concepts: justice, expectation, criticism, and support. Man helps his injured comrade, explaining that they live for all the attention. Surrounded by his allies, Mr. Malwang declares they fight because they are all attention seekers. With a manic grin, he prepares for the enemy's reaction, yelling, "Here we go." In a strange cutaway, a hooded demon lord complains about his stool while admiring another's ornate throne. Standing over fallen monsters, Mr. Malwang politely asks the hovering commander to please come down. The rock band enthusiastically joins in, daring the commander to stop hiding and come closer. Two others cheer for the spaceman to come down, as the lab coat man calls them fools for thinking it would work. Thud. A massive foot slams into the ground right in front of them. As the seventh commander lands, the lab coat man is stunned that he actually came down. A muscular, pink-haired man greets the commander casually. He swoons over the commander, calling him a Cosmo doll before being violently swatted away. A pink pigtail-haired girl screams in horror for the defeated Heart King. The commander finds Earth interesting, noting their refusal to lose positivity in the face of fear. He wonders if they can maintain that spirit through overwhelming pain, his dark aura flaring. As his aura coalesces into a monstrous form, he asks if they will still be able to smile. The lab coat man and his red-haired ally excitedly watch the villain's transformation, like it's a live show. Yura rallies her friends with a proverb, just as they are suddenly trapped by dark energy spikes. A system window reveals the 7th Commander's monstrous transformation and its powerful ability. Staring at the terrifying beast, Yura nervously laughs that she wasn't prepared for a literal lion's maw. The transformed commander declares his desire to see them terrified and begging for their lives. How? A massive blast erupts from the ground, engulfing the area. Oh no! Mr. Malwang is ensnared by swirling black tendrils, his body being torn apart. Pow! As a massive beam crashes into the earth, a desperate cry for Mr. Malwang echoes through the blast. Caught in the monster's grasp, a defiant Mr. Malwang curses the cowardly surprise attack, insisting it won't work. With a triumphant yell, Mr. Malwang lands a powerful counterpunch right in the beast's face. He presses his assault, unleashing a flurry of named attacks like the kettlebell slash and side plank stab. Gritting his teeth, he smashes the beast's head with a devastating Zhang Chung Dong side lunge skull crusher. The lab coat man watches in disbelief, wondering when Mr. Malwang became so strong, while Jura Jr. scoffs at his surprise. Below, Mr. Malwang is shown bleeding heavily from his wounds. The tide turns as the monster brutally pummels Mr. Malwang, prompting the lab coat man to scream that he's being beaten. A man with a thick mustache lets out a furious roar, demanding to know what everyone is doing. Flexing his muscles, the mustached man rallies his colleagues, reminding them that they must share the burden as their junior is getting thrashed. An elderly man with white hair leads a group of muscular men, declaring that stamina is national power and vowing to defeat the monster. A system window identifies him as part of the C-Gym Gym Development Committee. The gray-haired woman realizes this chaotic fighting is why business is bad, as Jura Jr. recognizes the old man as the chairman. The chairman roars with determination, yelling for his team to charge into battle. However, a man in a black mask suddenly steps forward, blocking the muscular men from advancing. The chairman angrily demands the manager get out of the way, yelling that their brother is in danger. The masked manager calmly refuses, explaining that he cannot interfere in a battle of pride between men. Watching the distant clash, he states that he cannot tarnish the master's will. The manager watches with intense focus, his face beaded with sweat as he clenches his jaw. Battered but unbowed, Mr. Malwang roars for all to witness his unyielding will to win. The pink-haired woman agrees with the manager, stating that Mr. Malwang is demonstrating something important. She smiles brightly, explaining that he is showing them how any trial can lead to growth if one never gives up. Moved to tears, the chairman and another elder praise Mr. Malwang's growth and amazing mentality, proud that they believed in him. As the pink-haired woman piously prays for Mr. Malwang, he comically undermines the moment by screaming that he's dying and begging for the help they're withholding. Finally, spurred to action by his screams, the entire group of allies roars and charges toward the monstrous commander. The lab coat man and Jura Jr. land a synchronized punch, joking about handsome men finally getting their screen time. The monster roars in fury as it's swarmed by the heroes from all sides. With a unified shout, the gym members unleash a massive combination attack, pummeling the beast relentlessly. The beast retaliates viciously, impaling one of the older gym members through the face. Wearing new robotic arms, the lab coat man fires a massive energy beam, yelling, "Tango Buster." The powerful blast explodes directly against the monster's head. Stunned by his own power, the lab coat man unleashes another fiery blast as the monster weathers the storm. The reflection in the lab coat man's eye reveals a terrifying fanged serpent, hinting at the commander's true nature. A massive explosion erupts on the battlefield, kicking up a cloud of debris. With his face shield shattered, the lab coat man stares in confusion and shock. A large, cloaked man with white hair grabs him as the girl in the robot suit cries out for the Heart King, while the captured man realizes this new opponent will not be easy. The Heart King looks down at the girl, coolly stating he isn't into kids. The Heart King grabs the struggling lab coat man's chin, telling him to help out, The lab coat man panics, but his captor assures him it's okay because he's a bad boy. Jura Jr. watches the bizarre scene unfold, screaming in absolute horror. The Heart King moves in to kiss the lab coat man, draining his energy with a purple glow. A powerful purple aura envelops the Heart King as he absorbs the energy. A system window identifies the A-rank hero Heart King and his Yang Energy Kiss ability, which strengthens him by absorbing a male target's energy while making them feel pleasure. Now fully powered up, the Heart King leaps away to rejoin the main fight, leaving his drained victims behind. Puckering his sparkling lips, he prepares to unleash his heart-style first form. He unleashes his love attack, trapping his allies in heart-shaped bubbles, before striking them with his hair to absorb their power. Surrounded by floating pink petals, the Heart King gathers a massive ball of sparkling energy in his hand. The transformed 7th Commander observes coolly, deducing that his opponent absorbs the energy of males. The Heart King rushes forward, announcing his heart-style second form. He unleashes a massive, heart-shaped energy slash called the Love-Hate Smash. The commander effortlessly catches the attack, crushing the Heart King's fist and bluntly stating that BL is not welcome. With a flick of his wrist, the commander sends the Heart King stumbling backward in defeat. Stunned and flustered, the Heart King mutters to himself just as a blue truck barrels toward him from behind. The monstrous commander lunges at his foes. The band taunts the monster, challenging its eardrum muscles with their music. The clown-faced woman unleashes her dead noise attack. Unimpressed, the commander dismisses the powerful blast with a simple HMPH. The bloodied, pink-haired man retaliates with a massive skull-shaped energy blast. A huge explosion erupts as the heroes watch, desperately hoping they succeeded. Thud. A massive clawed purple foot smashes into the ground. From the dust, a monstrous creature lets out a cough. Both the commander and a bloodied Mr. Malwang erupt in crazed, defiant laughter. The commander stares down at a comically terrified, blood-streaked man. As the commander watches, a glowing spirit cat paw appears above the pink-haired woman's head. Reverting to a more humanoid form, the commander looks down and asks, "Why?" Cradling a dying, identical version of himself, he tearfully screams, "Brother!" The pink-haired woman stares in stunned silence, the paw still hovering over her. The commander pauses, looking down in somber silence. As he holds the injured, pink-haired woman from the band, his body begins to glow with transformative energy. The other band members watch in shock, wondering about his sudden transformation. He recalls the words of a human he was killing, who believed God only gives bearable trials. The red-haired man shouts that if they overcome this, perhaps they'll meet again. Mr. Malwang, holding his friends close, watches the transformation with grim determination. With a sinister smirk, the transformed commander begins his final declaration. Raising his hand to a fiery orb in the sky, he states he has never believed in God. A massive meteor streaks through space, heading directly for Earth. In a humorous aside, the beastly commander and a small fox enjoy a drink, labeled Cat Friend. The meteor continues its fiery descent toward the planet. A news anchor reports in terror that a gigantic meteor is descending on Seoul, paralyzing communications. As citizens stare up in horror, messages flash urging evacuation and questioning the monster's retreat. "This is the end for me." In the streets below, people scream and flee in panic from the approaching meteor. The commander looks down upon the chaos, telling them to struggle as hard as they can. A blonde woman teleports in, informing her boss that she's regrouping with the main force. A superior questions her delay and asks for any unusual reports. The commander lies that the disposal is complete, then violently silences a subordinate who tries to correct him. The subordinate's comrade screams his name in horror as he's splattered with blood. Seated on a throne, the superior holds the 7th commander responsible for past failures, and he accepts the blame. His large, beastly subordinate excitedly tells the commander, "Let's go." The commander looks down, thoughtfully, contemplating the idea of gains. Deciding to watch the heroes a bit longer, he observes them on a screen. The meteor continues to burn its way toward the futuristic city below. The monsters panic, with one crying out that the hero's main body is somehow still alive. The lab coat man grimly accepts his death, but the gray-haired woman angrily tells him not to be so casual. Roaring in defiance, he declares that his S-class armband isn't just for show. He fires all rounds from his arm cannons, unleashing a devastating barrage. Thinking it's over, he's shocked when the woman, now wreathed in flames, screams at him to shut up. Mr. Malwang turns his back to the chaos and quietly asks if they will listen. Startled by his tone, the pink-haired woman asks, "What's wrong?" Mr. Malwang faces them, bloodied, and says he just wanted to apologize. His friends are shocked by this sudden and frighteningly serious confession. The clown-faced woman reflects on her own past, admitting she was stubborn, selfish, and at fault for what happened to Dave. Lying defeated, the pink-haired man thinks back on his own reckless actions, realizing he was a clueless idiot. Mr. Malwang confesses that his alpha persona was a lie to hide the cowardly, fake madman he truly was. The pink-haired woman cries out that his confidence was what inspired her to change, begging him to stop. As his friends watch in concern, Mr. Malwang asks them for a favor. With a crazed grin, he declares he's done pretending and asks his friends if they will go crazy with him. Yura cheers, declaring this is the real Malwang, as she gathers red energy and he shouts her name. The swirling red energy condenses into a powerful coil. The energy manifests as a barrage of glowing red blades. The red-haired man vows to show them his power, launching the attack with a determined grimace. Vowing to demonstrate real out-of-this-world energy, Mr. Malwang erupts with a massive power-up. The clown-faced woman unleashes her dead noise attack as a man in a football uniform is blasted back by the combined energy. The intense clash of powers creates a vibrant, chaotic explosion of color. Exasperated, the lab coat man decides to go all in, firing his cannons at a large object. The pink-haired woman unleashes her full power, screaming for Malwang to show them what he's got. A glowing pink cross forms over Mr. Malwang's chest as he absorbs the energy, shouting, "This is it!" The man in the football uniform unleashes a massive, blindingly bright energy blast. Unable to contain the immense power, a colossal beam of energy erupts toward the sky. The red-haired man and his masked companions roar their support, screaming for the attack to go. The lab coat man, Yura, and their companion all scream at the top of their lungs, urging the attack onward. The combined energy beam rockets past the city's skyscrapers. The beam pierces the heavens, ascending into the upper atmosphere. High above the city, the attack detonates in a brilliant star-like explosion. A wave of dark energy sweeps over the battlefield in the aftermath. The meteor continues its descent, an unstoppable ball of fire. A masked hero stares in disbelief that their attack might have worked, as his ally declares it's finally over. The pink-haired woman strains, feeling the immense pressure. The meteor smashes into the city, shattering the ground and obliterating everything in its path. Refusing to accept defeat, the man in the football uniform screams that it's not over yet. Mr. Malwang is overwhelmed by a violent surge of energy, coughing up blood. The impact sends a devastating shockwave through the city, tearing buildings apart. The destructive force continues to radiate outward, leveling the landscape. In the pink-haired woman's eye, the reflection of utter devastation is all that remains. The bloodied pink-haired man awakens in the rubble, desperately asking where Malwang is. The massive, stony meteor looms ominously in the dust-filled sky. Pinned beneath the immense weight of the rock, a bloodied Mr. Malwang struggles to survive. The injured pink-haired woman watches in horror, struggling to speak. Her arm is brutally impaled by sharp, black spikes. Crying his name, she begs Mr. Malwang not to do anything reckless as he strains under the weight. Mr. Malwang declares he can finish the rock off himself, telling his friends to stay far away. The pink-haired woman screams that it's not the time to be stubborn, but he insists his pride is now on the line. Yura refuses to let him sacrifice himself, but she's blasted away as she tries to help. The group desperately tries to restrain the white-haired man, arguing that they can't die for nothing. A monstrous claw emerges from the rock as it presses down on the helpless Mr. Malwang. Believing he can now save everyone, Mr. Malwang watches his friends flee, thinking this is enough. As the rock crushes him, he tearfully apologizes to someone named Ji-hyun. A powerful voice from off-screen roars for him to lift his head. With a final surge of will, Mr. Malwang looks up and pushes back against his fate. The red-haired man suddenly appears, chiding Malwang for making a fuss over a mere rock. As the clown-faced woman watches in shock, he asks if Malwang forgot he was supposed to show them something. A bandaged blonde man in a pink jacket appears, declaring he will show them what a true alpha looks like. Overcome with emotion, the masked band members cry out in shock, recognizing their leader. The bloodied man in the lab coat screams in disbelief at the impossible sight before him. The gray-haired woman wonders if a curse broke, but is baffled that he wasn't shattered regardless. The bandaged blonde man imagines his bandmates mourning him, realizing he can never reveal he just glued himself back together. He aggressively scolds Mao Wang, demanding to know if he's reverted to his old, wimpy self and needs to be taught another lesson. With a bloody, crazed grin, Mr. Mao Wang asks the blonde man to do him the honor. Following his leader's instruction, Mr. Mao Wang closes his eyes and takes a deep breath. The blonde man coaches him on perfect lifting form, detailing foot angle, grip width, and core tension. The instructions continue, focusing on hinging at the hips and pushing back. As he's told to lower down and hold the squat, Mr. Mao Wang's muscles tense with glowing blue energy. He exhales sharply, sweat and blood dripping from his face as he holds the position. The bandaged blonde man roars encouragement, shouting for him to lift on the count of 3. With a mighty heave, Mr. Mao Wang begins to push the immense weight up. He bellows the word magnetic as he strains against the rock. Grunting, he continues to push with every ounce of his strength. Boom. With a final surge of power, he lifts the rock, shattering the ground beneath him. The blonde leader cheers him on, but his expression turns to shock as blood splatters onto the ground. As Mr. Mao Wang is consumed by a dark, violent aura, the red-haired man cries out his name in alarm. The leader screams at Mao Wang to maintain focus as the massive rock rises, sending 2 onlookers flying. Realizing he must help his brother, the lab coat man turns to see his sister struggling to rise from the rubble. He grabs her, telling her to calm down and asking how she can possibly help in her condition. "But I can't just stand there," she cries, determined to help her brother who is trying so hard. Suddenly, a woman with flowing white hair and a mask erupts with vibrant, multicolored energy. The lab coat man and his sister stare in absolute shock at the sudden transformation. Gritting her teeth, the transformed woman focuses her newfound power. Flashing through memories of fear and determination, a single thought emerges. She must save him, somehow. Her eyes glowing with power from behind her mask, she vows, "I will save Mao Wang." The ground cracks and shatters beneath a nearby building, threatening its collapse. Wait. Dangerous. The lab coat man shouts, realizing the building is collapsing. As Mao Wang struggles under the rock, the transformed woman below unleashes a torrent of brilliant energy. She screams again her desperate plea to save Mao Wang. Her purple energy surges upwards, enveloping the entire collapsing structure. The shattered pieces of the building halt their descent, suspended in her power. The fragments begin to reverse course, reassembling in midair. Staring in disbelief, the lab coat man's eye reflects the impossible sight. As Mao Wang holds the meteor aloft, the building is restored amidst a storm of purple energy. The lab coat man and his sister watch, stunned, as he asks if the building is being restored. A massive golden sigil shines as a voice declares, "Blossom." The voice confirms their prediction was correct, as the fully restored building is seen within a projection. Her true ability is revealed, not just healing, but the power of time inversion. Her bloody hand outstretched, the transformed woman tells Mao Wang she will support him. She materializes a small rock, which transforms into a glowing, rainbow-colored sword of light. The light sword streaks through the air, heading straight for the massive meteor. Malang screams at Ji-hyun in confused fury, demanding to know why she's increasing the weight. A glowing, ethereal green being shows him the way forward. An enormous green ancestral spirit manifests behind him, acknowledging him as its descendant. The blonde man stares up from the street, wondering what he is seeing atop the building. In disbelief, he dismisses the impossible sight as nothing more than a legend. The lab coat man's cracked glasses reflect the apparition as he realizes he's witnessing the legend of legends. In a multi-panel reaction, the band members and other heroes all shout in unison, recognizing it as an ancestral. A man with glasses nervously speculates about the meaning, until a woman beside him slaps him and tells him to spit it out. The lab coat man explains the legend of Mihi, a state of being granted only to those with ultimate physical conditioning who have never been touched by yin energy. Realizing this means it's only achievable by virgins, he stares in shock as a furious Mr. Mao Wang screams for him to shut up. The ancestral spirit advises him to concentrate, but Mao Wang yells at the grandpa too as a thought bubble confirms he is, in fact, a virgin. With the full power of the ancestor behind him, he pushes upward with a primal roar. Buzz. A nearby drone captures the spectacular event as it unfolds. The drone's lens reflects the glowing green form of the massive spirit. As news spreads of a muscular elderly man blocking the meteor, the bandaged leader watches from his hospital bed while a family stares at their TV. A crowd gazes upward as the media declares that a fit old man is saving the earth. Yura screams through tears of blood, telling her brother to lift the rock because a man with his head down isn't her style. The watching crowd cheers him on with all their might, crying for him to do his best. HYAAAPA final burst of power erupts from the building as it's lifted into the air. Screaming with ultimate effort, Mr. Malwang continues to push as his friends watch in stunned silence. In a montage of determination, everyone channels their energy into a single, unified chant of, "Up." The crowd watches in awe from the street as the entire building ascends. Man and spirit strain as one, pushing against the crushing weight from above. Bubbles rise in the darkness, signifying that a new threshold has been reached. His body crackles with brilliant, rainbow-colored energy as he taps into an unknown power. The world around him seems to shatter like glass as he breaks through his limits. With a final, earth-shattering roar, Mr. Malwang's hair turns white as he and the ancestral spirit unleash their combined power. Blood streams from his mouth as his body is enveloped in a blinding blue aura of pure force. Overwhelmed by the incredible power, the massive meteor begins to crack apart. The pressure intensifies, shattering the meteor into massive, crumbling chunks. The rock is completely obliterated in a brilliant, multicolored explosion. A triumphant, heavenly light beams down upon the city from the sky above. On the street below, the blonde leader and his allies watch the explosive finale. The red-haired man and his companions weep with overwhelming relief and joy. His villainous allies erupt in a wild, triumphant cheer for their victory. His hair now pure white, Mr. Malwang floats serenely in the aftermath, his power finally calm. A magnificent golden statue immortalizes the ancestral spirit in a heroic pose. The golden statue now stands tall over the snow-covered, recovering city as a monument to its savior. In a different scene, a man frantically bites into a bag of Pokemon bread. Clutching an armful of snacks, he runs through the snow, muttering that he's too late. On his knees and surrounded by bullies, he despairs that his lunch break is over and wonders about his sudden craving for Pokemon bread. A bully's shoe moves in to stomp on his head. Quack! He's tripped, sending his precious snacks flying into the air. As he kneels in defeat over his lost snacks, a stranger hands one back to him. He looks up to see a small, fox-like creature offering him the snack. He tells the cat to be good, but it vanishes in a flash of speed. No. His eyes widen in horror at its sudden disappearance. Kneeling in the snow, he curses his luck, now ignored by bullies and cats alike. He nervously peeks into a building, timidly asking if there's a cat or anyone inside. Inside, he finds himself face to face with the menacing silhouettes of Malwang's crew. Trembling with fear, he apologizes and tries to flee. A powerful voice roars at the terrified man to stop messing around. A viral social media post questions who blocked the meteor, featuring a picture of the golden statue. A woman with a red headband scoffs at the post, fuming that she worked her butt off to protect the earth. She crushes her phone in a rage, screaming that nothing else matters. A man in a green t-shirt vows to destroy the earth, but is immediately calmed, breaking down into pathetic, apologetic sobs. The man in the green shirt is held back by a long-haired, masked figure, looking completely confused. The man from the bread incident cowers on the floor, begging them not to hit him. Mr. Malwang cowers before two menacing figures. Overwhelmed by fear, his spirit seems to break. As the man in the green shirt walks off, his blonde companion calls out, "Malwang, where are you going?" Malwang turns back to the crying man, calling him student. With a wide grin, he welcomes the beginner lifter. Three versions of Malwang grab the terrified man, critiquing his skinny physique and declaring that if they'd been a bit later, it would have been a big problem. He announces an easy start, terrifying his new student. Malwang begins the lesson with a powerful squat demonstration. The brutal training montage continues with deadlifts and bench presses as the student screams in protest. Malwang orders 2 more sets, while the student panics, thinking he just came for bread and needs to leave. He asks if the man has ever worked this hard. The student admits it's his first time. The blonde companion tells him to look around the gym. The crew demonstrates their philosophy. A healthy mind resides in a healthy body. By increasing the weight, a voice explains, You'll eventually meet a stronger version of yourself than anyone else. The student asks if he can really get stronger, but Malwang cuts off his self-doubt, offering his hand and telling him to trust him. With a brilliant smile, he offers a special price for a year-long membership. Inspired, the new student enthusiastically accepts the offer. Click, a cat-like creature snaps a photo with a pink camera. A gesture pops out of a locker, surprising the new student. From afar, a mysterious figure watches the gym on a holographic screen. The mysterious observer stands on an alien world, watching Earth's events. An imposing figure on a throne observes the mundane gym scene from afar. The powerful observer grins with menacing interest. A photo captures the moment, captioned, "Well, this is something." Another powerful being watches as the enthroned man declares this will be interesting. The cast of characters assembles for a vibrant promotional shot.